we go. TMI Tuesdays. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of TMI Tuesdays. I am your host, Tonk 7. Sorry, it's been a long day. It's been a long Tuesday. Happy to be here tonight. Got a really good list for y'all. I'm really excited. What's up, everybody in the comments? Jay, Flava, Joe Riss, Daniel, thank you for being here. Thank you to everybody being here. Remember to always like, share, comment, troll, whatever you got to do, make it happen. We always appreciate that. Happy to be here tonight. I'm wearing my nice George Strait t-shirt that I went to a concert. I think it was in June. Yeah, it was actually on Juneteenth. I actually went to a Mariners game that same day. Got jersey from the Seattle Steelheads on Juneteenth, and then I went home and changed, and then went to the George Strait concert at where the Seahawks play stadium. So that was a really cool day. So thank you for being here, and all right, let's get going. Who's in here with me tonight? Just me, myself, and I.
Yeah, I'm up here. What's going on,
man? My man Snake Money holding it down. He's the one who made it all. Does all the background stuff. That we do here. I'm saying I didn't, but he did. And since Cap is whatever he's got going on.
Yeah.
He couldn't be here tonight, but it's all good. And then I got my man Ali in the building.
Hell yeah!
I got my man Ali here. I know he's excited about tonight.
I'm just here for the Michigan hate.
Oh,
and I just don't want to be sued by YouTube for anything, so I'm just here for Michigan hate only.
Yeah. I mean, nothing sue about that, I guess. So we got what we got on the list. What's first? NFL. So we had a game on Thursday, we had a bunch of games on Sunday, and then we had a game on Monday. Crazy. It was last night's game was just wild. It was literally who could suck worse. Or no. Who trying to lose the most. You know what last night reminded me of? That episode of South Park where they're playing baseball and they all hate playing baseball, so they try to lose. And the opposite team got so good at trying to lose that when they would hit the ball, they would hit it into the team's glove. kind of like, all right, if they miss this field goal, we win, but let's put 12 people on the field.
Crazy. Actually, this game reminded me of the Dallas Thanksgiving game where the Leon Lett play.
You mean the butt fumble play?
No, where Leon Lett touched up. What happened was Miami Dolphins.
Year?
This was at 92.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
Yeah. So what happened was Miami. What happened was Miami. This game was in Dallas, right? And Miami missed the field goal. But Leon Lett touched the football, and Miami got to do the ball, the try over again. And this kind of reminds me of the Leon Lett.
I
mean, they missed 4 field goals.
It was so bad of a game.
Field goals.
It was so bad of a game. And between James Cook and Josh Allen, it was such a bad game. The only thing that was missing was a Dorsey meltdown like we saw in Miami. That was the only thing.
Man, growing up, the reason I like football. Oh, that I'll explain that in a little bit. It's just bringing what is it called?
Awareness.
What?
Awareness, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awareness. For all my people out there that are struggling. So what was I saying?
NFL kicking?
Yeah. I forgot what I was saying. I got
Happens to the best of us.
What was I saying?
We're talking about the kick. About how who sucks the most.
I was talking about the Dorsey meltdown, and then
say something
about it.
Okay. So growing up, right, I collected a lot of football cards. So I was like, I always highlighted like key players like Emmitt Smith, Jerry Rice, Dante Culpepper, even what's his name, who played on the Lions, Barry Sanders, John Elway. And I'm kind of the same way now. And so I root for like players that I used like similar to how I was a little kid. And it sucks seeing Josh Allen like struggle like this. I wish, like, even though he's in a division that I support, the Dolphins, it's still I want to see players at their best. And I just feel like he's not in it. And it sucks to watch. And I think at the same time, Denver might be on a come up, but at the same time, like they had so many chances, like they had so many other chances to help win that game, and they lost it. So I don't know what to really attribute that win to, but it's nice to see like some change in Denver, and they just won their last 2 games against like really, semi good teams. Yeah, I said, like, who can suck most? I don't necessarily say that game sucked. I don't think that game sucked. I think that game was very interesting. It was very boring at first, but at the end, it got very, very interesting. And I think that's what we're getting a lot in these games this season. I think we're getting a lot of fourth quarter action than, like, other seasons. Because, like, what was the game? I think it was, like, maybe it was Carolina and Chicago, or maybe it was last Monday or last Thursday. It was a game, and it was just like it came down. It was just a lot at the fourth quarter. It's
But you know what's funny is I frequent a Buffalo Bill YouTube channel. Whenever they lose, I don't troll them, but I just like to see the meltdown. And this guy was so frustrated that he literally took the boom off his the hinges. When he was watching that game, he called the game live. He actually literally ripped the boom arm off the damn hinge.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of videos of fans of every sport. I remember growing up when like a soccer event, like maybe it was FIFA, because I was really, really young, and whatever team lost, they would like flip over cars and burn things down. And it's just like people go crazy over their teams. I'm glad I've been able to not do stuff like that. I don't know. I've always worked hard for everything that I have, so I'm not going to let a losing team get me. Because I remember my friend had a Nintendo 64, right? And when we would play him at like GoldenEye or Nintendo or what was he at Mario Kart, if he would lose, he would freaking go, damn it, and slam the controller down. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. I was laughing so hard because I would never do something like that. But it was so funny to see kids have temper tantrums and like writing their stuff.
Oh man. Well, yeah, trust me. I used to have like I'll have something next to me that I could slam on the ground, and I will slam it on the ground.
Yeah, I'm willing to break something that's inanimate, and it's okay to break it. I support those rooms, those rage rooms, where you go in, you like break vases and glass, and like I think that's actually a healthy activity to some degree. I'm not gonna smash my TV.
Yeah, like a Cowboy fan.
The Gators lost in the SEC championship. The only way I would smash my TV is to make one of the videos where they're like carrying the TV, and he's like, what my wife expects me to do when she calls, and he just like drops the TV. It's like, hello. He just does that. John's whatever he has in his hand. He's like, hello.
Yeah, I feel you.
Now that's a little different. That's something that I could laugh at for like the rest of my life. But in the confidence I had in Baltimore, this happens every season and lose to Cleveland. It's like I don't know if I trust them that far in the playoffs.
Actually, I think I saw a stat. I don't know if it's true, but
they're not doing well in the fourth quarter.
Lamar Jackson has yet to beat the Browns.
You can't beat him if you're in the NFC, but you can't lose it to him if you're in Cleveland.
And here's another thing. I think I saw another stat that Cleveland's actually 6-3.
dude. So Lamar Jackson is like a living outlier. He has that crazy stat against the NFC, and then he has this crazy stat against Cleveland. It's like the most opposite sides. Like if you did, I forgot what it was in statistics when you like have different measurements and stuff. But like I could see the thing right now, and like we're talking about Lamar Jackson, it would have two things on this. Like here's the middle, like you would be on either side, like 500.
Check this out. You want to hear another crazy statistic? Tom Brady at Gillette Stadium is 89-13. Mac Jones is 8-13.
Oh man, that dude, damn, dude. Oh my gosh, like that's you got to sit back and take that in. Like you have to, like, damn, dude, that was damn. 8-13. This dude has a whole lifetime supply of losses
that Tom Brady had
in his third season, because his first season they went to the playoffs, and then last season they stunk to bed. Damn, dude, not even 3 full seasons. Damn, hold on. I mean, it doesn't make a difference, but is that him starting? Or was that him when he was still on the bench and what's his name was playing?
I guess this is starting.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
And I read one more place. It says the Patriots already at half the amount of games Brady lost in the course of 20 years in New England.
Damn, man.
Say that again? What was that again? I'm sorry.
The Patriots already lost half the amount of games Brady lost over the course of 20 years in New England.
That is a ridiculous stat, bro. That's ridiculous.
And it's like, in like, obviously he was the greatest player of all time, but it's like now that gets as he gets further and further away from that team, as far as time, it shows how great he was, because look how it's been since he's left. It's been in shambles. I think obviously it has a lot to do with him, but just things, how long can you keep something going? They had a dynasty for 20 years. I mean, even though they didn't win every Super Bowl, they were in it. They were in the AFC Championship. It's like every season. Yeah. So like to keep something going for that long, it's like, dude, you can't even hate 1% on Bill Belichick after he left.
Here's this. What they won 20 straight AFC East championship.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of Belichick, what do you think the odds are that he ends up a Buffalo Bill head coach?
I don't know. I think anything is possible. I don't know. I think he can do it. I think it would matter a lot on who would they draft next for a quarterback, or who do they have up after Josh Allen, because I don't know how like is he gonna be good? Is he gonna be the Josh Allen that brought them back to the AFC Championship again? Is he gonna be that Josh? And I believe he can be. I don't know exactly what's going on. Maybe it's the offensive line.
I'm starting to think Josh Allen is the next Dak Prescott, to be honest.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
Who's that next? Tony Romo was the best one.
Tony Romo, yeah, that's a good one. I mean, my betting line is that he doesn't become a Buffalo Bills head coach. I think he ends up taking over the Commanders, personally.
Well, here's the thing. Urban Meyer, right? Urban Meyer, when he was in Florida, the one thing I always heard was his dream job was the Ohio State job. That was his dream job. And this is what I'm saying. The Giants fire their coaches every 2 years. I think it wouldn't shock me if they fire Daboll and Bill Belichick takes the Giants job, because I think that he always wanted that head coaching job.
Daniel Jones is still a relatively new quarterback to the league. You know, if they can keep him upright. I mean, is Daniel Jones more of a pocket passer? I haven't watched enough of Giants games to really know him of a player, but if he resembles anything, like you know, I mean, if it's something he could work with, I believe absolutely. I mean, I have total 100% confidence in Bill Belichick, but I don't know if like the chance of him actually striking goal like he did with Brady, it's so hard.
I mean, to be honest though, the Giants gig does make a lot of sense. Shake Money.
I think that's more possible than the Bills.
Yeah, because remember he won his first 2 Super Bowls with the Giants.
Yeah. In addition to that, they have something, you know, even though they got dismantled the other day, but the Giants defense is not bad. When it's, you know, being called correctly, they have a defense, right?
I would like to see him go to the
I wouldn't mind that. That wouldn't be
to
bad.
the Giants. So I think that would be cool. I would support
Bill Belichick in the NFC for one.
I don't want to see him go to Washington. Washington, that team has got a long way to go. That team has got a long way to go. I think he would do well with the Giants because they have the pedigree. You know, they have the pedigree there.
And by the way, what I can see happening in the Commanders if they fire Riverboat Ron, I think they'll make the enemy the interim head coach so he could kind of audition for it because he's always wanted to become a head coach.
I think that would be a good idea because Taylor Heineke's still second season? I don't know.
Heineke's with the Atlanta though.
Oh, who's the No, who is the quarterback for Washington?
It's not RG3.
No.
I know. Hold on. Damn, I have the who was the
Sam Howell?
Sam Howell? Yeah, Sam Howell.
He hasn't been here that long. So he went to North Carolina. Yeah, got drafted last season. I think Eric Bieniemy is the head coach. Definitely. I mean,
he's not doing that bad.
Or even Belichick.
He has 2,000. Sam Howell has thrown for 2,700 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. He's just got to clean up his INTs.
That's not too bad. I mean, that's
almost 2,000 yards.
He's ranked 21st.
And he's got Scary Terry.
Be right back, guys.
All right, no problem. He has Scary Terry, so you know what I mean? He does have some good weapons on offense.
Minnesota 2-0 right now with Josh Dobbs. Raiders are 2-0, but they have a very tough schedule coming up. Can they beat the Dolphins? Dolphins, you better not lose to the Raiders. You better not lose to the Raiders, Dolphins.
Not at home.
It's going to be in Miami?
Yeah. I'm not going to be at that game, but I was thinking about going to the television.
That game's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it is.
That game's going to be crazy. The Raiders are going to have a lot more hype now going in there.
Yeah, man. You got 2 gambling cities. You got land of the casinos coming to Hard Rock Casino, baby.
I love that meme. I saved it from somebody else posting it of it said the Dallas Cowboys fans after they beat the New York what's their record 2-7 2-7 Giant. It like shows them like got this like winning the Super Bowl. Shout outs to my friend Kyle DiNardo. He's the one who gave me this hat. I like to make videos and like put it on his Facebook, like just like pretending that I'm just like looking at the hat and like moving it around and just messing with it just to totally troll him about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wore it tonight. Just wanted to give him a shout out because I said that if he gave me the hat that I would like try to incorporate it every now and then in everything I do because I want to, and plus it's a good way to troll him because that's what we do. We just straight troll each other.
Yeah, for sure. Good trolling is fun.
Yeah.
Oh man, speaking of which, I get trolled all the time when I call the Gators. So, oh man, this game. Did you see the Florida game this Saturday?
So how do you know?
Yeah, I know. But however,
I can't talk about Brian Kelly anymore because he beat the Gators. I mean,
yeah. Look, at the end of the day, I was like, where the fuck was this Florida offense?
They had 600 total yards.
700 on us.
700.
Who's
no, the quarterback had 600 yards. Like, what is going on here?
But they had 700 total offense on us.
Yeah,
dude. And when I saw that 80-yard run,
I wish Urban Meyer would go back to Florida.
Yeah, and bring.
Why doesn't he go back to Florida, dude?
I have no idea, man.
Urban, come on, man, just go. We don't care about anything else. Come on back, man. Just come on back, dude. Just don't get anybody that's killing anybody.
See, this is what I would like. My dream scenario for Florida. My dream scenario for Florida is that we hire Jimbo Fisher as the offensive coordinator.
I take him as no way, Jimbo. There's no way Jimbo Fisher would go to. There's no way. There's no way.
As an OC, though,
he's not going to take an offensive coordinator job. Are you kidding? Hold on a second. Hold on. For one, it's already insulting to FSU for him to take a head coach job. Mm-hmm. Then it's even more insulting to FSU if not that I care, but he might. If he takes the offensive coordinator with UF, it's like, dude, it's like now you're just rubbing it in. That offensive coordinator,
because that's what. Hell yeah, I would love that.
14-0, and was it 14-0 or 15-0, or was it 13-0? Because it wasn't the playoffs yet, so he just had to win an AFC championship and then the national championship.
Yeah, but that's what I would love to have. Yeah. No, he won the playoff. His last was a playoff game. It was the first playoff.
They lost.
They lost to Ohio.
They lost
Oregon, right?
I forgot, but they lost. Yes,
Oregon.
Yes, they went to the first.
Yeah, they lost to Oregon because it was Marcus Mariota was the quarterback.
I remember, like it was too much. That game was too much for Jameis. I remember that game. Like at the end, he like dude, that game was crazy. That was crazy to see the first playoffs. In college, well, at that level, anyways.
Yeah, because they won the last BCS bowl. The last BCS championship was Florida State won it. Yeah, you're right.
That's pretty cool. That's why I've been so adamant about going to basketball and football games this season, because it's the last season they're in the Big 12. I even got a ticket printed out of Utah and UW. Because like that's the last time they will be in the Big 12 together. Well, I mean, at least for another 100 years. Like, it's not often that teams switch conferences more than once. So anyways, that's kind of the next segment. I was because I know Ali is all excited about Michigan, but so hold on a second. Give me 1 second. Let me look at my notes real quick before. Because I want to make sure, because I sent you. Okay, yeah, so that's right. Right. I don't talk about UW yet, because that was a dope weekend. College football. Let's see. So the SEC championship is set.
Yep.
It's going to be Georgia, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And then, did they release the play? I bet you watched. UW is probably still number 5. What is the rankings now? Did they change?
No,
or they stay the same? I haven't looked yet. I bet I wouldn't be surprised if Washington is still number 5, because their defense isn't. It's decent. They're still winning games, but they have to constantly outscore the other team.
Okay, here's the rankings. 1 is Georgia, 2 is Ohio, 3 is Michigan, 4 is FSU, and 5 is Washington.
Yeah.
You got 6 Oregon, 7 Texas, Alabama's 8, Missouri's 9, and last at 10, I'm doing the 10 is Louisville.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, even if because even if Ohio State or Michigan lose to whatever whoever loses, that doesn't mean they're going to get knocked out of Final Four, top four. It doesn't mean that. So unless one of them loses on top of before they play each other, that's what I think it would allow Washington, because they have to one of those teams has to lose before a championship game or before, because who would play? So Michigan or Ohio State, would they play each other in no, they don't play each
Michigan,
other.
actually, they play each other in rivalry week. They the last week.
Right. So does that mean that they don't play each other? Does the Big Ten have a...
Not that I know of. Maybe Ali would know better than I would. I know Ali would know better.
Does it have a championship game?
You have
we have a championship game.
So
basically, generally what happens, because every year it seems to always come down to Ohio State versus Michigan at the end of the regular season. Whichever wins that game generally goes to the championship game, which plays the West.
So they're in the same division.
Yeah, we're in the same division.
All right. So
there is a possibility, regardless of being in the same division, regardless of winning or not winning the championship game, that both Ohio State and Michigan can be the top four in this year's college playoffs.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Even if,
So it doesn't matter.
Because it's like the number one team losing to the number two team. It's well, duh.
It's kind of like how Alabama and Georgia went to the
exactly.
playoffs.
Exact same thing. So but I don't know. It's going to be really crazy. This whole
I think it's going to remain those four teams unless one of them loses. It's because they're just too good. Like, it's just four teams, even if they lose to one another. Because Alabama, even if they win, I think if Alabama wins, it'll knock Georgia out of the top four. But would it let Alabama in?
Yeah,
or Washington.
I like Washington, bro. They're my.
They can put up a lot of points. They can put up a lot of points.
Dark horse to actually make this top four. In fact, I'm gonna tell you right now. I think the top two are a lock, no matter what.
That's why
Michigan, unless they lose at FinMily to Ohio State, I think they're in. The number 4 spot, I think, is up for grabs, bro. I don't think anybody's safe in that position. No. I like Washington a lot, to be honest.
That's why they're staying right there.
Yeah. All I know is, I hope we for a Thanksgiving miracle, and I hope we beat FSU in the last game of the week.
Well, I will tell you one thing.
That would help Washington.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, this Ohio State Michigan game during Thanksgiving weekend is gonna be so big that the only signs that Jim Harbaugh sees is either I saw the sign by Ace to Base, or I saw the sign for the Thanksgiving.
This is the only sign he's gonna see, dude.
That's the only sign he's gonna be.
That's gonna be it. Where is the game at?
I believe this year it's at the Horseshoe, but I could be wrong. Let me verify.
What's the Horseshoe?
Ohio State's stadium. That's what it's called.
That's going to be I don't know. That might be a dangerous game to go to.
Could be wrong, though. Let me make sure.
I think it's going to be, honestly, I think it's going to be, I think they better up the security.
No, it's not. It's at the Big House in Michigan. It's at Michigan.
I think so
Ross will be in attendance.
And if you don't know that about Ohio State versus Michigan games, Michigan's stadium is one of the biggest in college football in capacity. And that game generally sells out like 6 years in advance. So it's going to be already sold out, bro. It's already sold out. So just letting you know.
Again, Stephen Ross is going to be at that game. I could tell you that.
The Dolphins owner?
Yeah, remember,
I got a very hot broken take about Michigan.
He's a big contributor in Michigan.
And Ross.
Oh, did he go there?
Yeah, he went there. Yeah. He's he has there's a school called the Business School of Ross in Michigan.
Well, that's like Oregon. The president of Nike I know he was the president of Nike. I don't know if he still is. Went to Oregon. That's why they have so much Nike stuff. And the same with Maryland. Their president went to,
I think Under Armour, was it?
No. Oh, yeah. Under Armour. The president of Under Armour went to Maryland.
Yeah. That's actually a reason why people believe that Jim Harbaugh did not become the Miami Dolphins head coach, because of all the money that Ross invests in Michigan. It would be kind of like collusion or something to that effect. Because of all the money.
Who cares? I mean, like, just throw that into the fucking file.
Trust me, I understand, but he's like a big contributor, like big time.
Did you see the interview with Jim Harbaugh said? He's like, yeah, I wish I was a lawyer. He said, I've always been curious about being in a court, you know? Well, here's your chance to find out what it sounds like. He's like, yeah, you know, I thought about being a lawyer, you know, being up there or being a judge. I'm like, no, of course you did, dude. Of course you did.
Yeah, here's my real take on Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan scandal right now, right? Yep. This scandal is not even over, bro.
No,
right?
Not even remotely.
It's something that keeps on going. All they've done is said that, you know, suspensions are coming. From what I understand, it's like a suspension during the regular season, right? Which I think is a joke, because listen,
it is a joke.
It is one thing to be recording, you know, practices, but to actually sending player or staff people to games and are scouting out the calls that other team make and how they make and ciphering that out, that messes with the integrity of the game. It is no longer a sport at that point. I don't even see why that's so hard to believe. If it was me, the NCAA, or even like the Big Ten, because the Big Ten has a brand new commissioner, right? And that's kind of what they're saying, that this guy kind of doesn't want to be rolled over. So that's why he's kind of trying to, you know, actually, you know, come up with a punishment, but not be overzealous at the same time. Screw that. If I were him, you want to make a big statement that no one can mess with you, you throw the black book at Michigan and you don't look back, bro. Go ahead and close their system down. Give them the black book that USC got how many years ago. Go do that to them, because that's what they deserve. Because this is not the first thing that Michigan has done in the past 4 years. They have recruiting violations. They have there was somebody, one of their staff people got found out for raping a minor, right?
Yeah.
You got this scandal.
Well, okay, wait. Depends on how much they cover that stuff
with Jim Harbaugh, bro. I don't know what people don't understand. They need to throw the black book at this team and never look back. And this is not a bias because I'm an Ohio State fan.
No, I don't think
not
that.
at all. Not at all. I'm being serious.
No.
Even if this was Alabama, Penn State, even if it was Ohio State, I was one of the people that says, get Urban Meyer out of here, bro. I was right there with them. So.
Well, when he was just getting a lap dance. Oh no, that was when he was with the Jags.
That was afterwards. I'm talking about because basically what it is he lied about things he knew about certain staff members, and he got caught lying, right? And there was a bunch of other shenanigans that they did and whatnot.
Yeah,
I felt, and I personally, to be honest, look at the last 2 years of him coaching at Ohio State. His coaching was on the decline, bro. It was time for him to go anyway.
He probably had heart problems again.
Even if my own team got caught with this shit, I don't care. Throw the black book at us because we deserve it. All you're doing is teaching our kids that this shit is okay, and it's not.
Yeah,
cheating is not right, bro. Messing with integrity of the game is not right, and I don't want to raise my kids that way. So why should I even support it?
Yep.
Yeah, no,
I mean, I felt they should have thrown the black book at Patriots. Same exact deal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Once I heard that, like, someone was being flown to other areas, and why I was like, all right, well, that's like beyond trying to cheat. That is so beyond cheating. It's not even.
Joe Levesque
is that is a lot of effort, and that's a lot of cover up too. I mean,
Joe Levesque is asking me if I'm calling for the death sentence. I'm calling for at minimum 1 year suspension of college playoff participation or bowl participation. The same thing they gave Ohio State because some players decide to sell memorabilia in exchange for tattoos.
Dude, that was the most bogus.
This is minimum. Actually, in fact, it should be 2 years. And you know why? Because they messed. I'm sorry. Because they messed with the integrity of the game.
So the tattoo thing is what Ohio State. Tattoo scandal is not even a scandal.
It's not even a scandal.
It's not. Right.
And I'm sorry I got too loud. I'm just passionate about that. I really do.
No, so have I. I was pissed because that's what screwed over Jim Tressel, and he did not deserve what is happening to Jim Harbaugh is way less than what happened to Jim Tressel. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he didn't even do it. He was. I mean, everybody was getting cars and houses and everybody was getting stuff like that. That's the way it was. I mean, it is what it is. Like, I don't think that's the same as flying people around the country and spying. You know what I mean? It's that's way different. Like, plus, like, a lot of these people came from very impoverished situations. So it was helping. Like, I don't know. It's just different to me. Because I come from situations like that where if I had I was a really good athlete and someone wanted to help me out financially and go to school, like thank you, you're contributing to my entire life, and you're not stripping me of being able to win because you got fucking homie over here cheating. Like, we might as well start banging garbage cans.
You know what the worst thing about this is, Tonk? The worst thing is I doubt anybody's going to do anything. You want to know why? Because everybody is afraid to mess with the legacy of the Harbaughs, right? And Jim Harbaugh's legacy is so tarnished now that it's not even funny. I don't even know why.
I can't support him the same anymore after this.
I can't. And here's the thing. This scandal alone, just the sign scandal, that's it, right? Just look at that. Everything that has come out about it that we know so far, it says it started when Ohio State started losing to Michigan, which was about 2 years ago. That's when it started. So you mean to tell me the 3-4 years that you couldn't beat Ohio State, right?
It's because you weren't cheating.
At this point, bro, I have no respect for Jim Harbaugh. I don't even want him as a Miami Dolphin head coach.
I wouldn't care if he got like offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator jobs, but I don't think he should get.
I don't want him anywhere near my professional.
Not for a while, anyways. Maybe eventually, but
no, because that just tells me you can't coach and you can't cut it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
one thing if you don't have the players yet. That's why you keep recruiting and you keep recruiting.
That's crazy. I don't know how
you had to cheat.
It's like, man, I would be so scared of getting caught for doing something that audacious.
Hey, he might be the
someone on an airplane to around the country. Like, how do you expect to not get caught doing that? Especially if you keep doing it. Maybe if it's once or twice, nobody's gonna know. But if the dude's been doing it, like, it's like, how do you not expect to get caught? Someone's gonna freaking miss it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's too many variables because you might deal with who isn't that smart, and he's gonna get you caught because he told this person, or he told that person, or he texted this person, or however it was. Because the information came out a little bit like this. It was this much. Because this guy forgot to erase the text, or he left his phone and freaking, you know what I mean, is his location. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, it's too easy to get caught with stuff like that nowadays. How do you not know that? If I knew they were doing that, I'd be like, look, all right, don't do it again. Okay? Because they're going to find out that you're flying all over the country. It's just, I don't know, it's common sense. Like,
it was so ridiculous. And, Joe Levesque, I believe he's saying he's the U fan, so he's a Hurricane fan, right? The Hurricane fan, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Color, but my understanding is you guys basically got the black book because of recruiting violations, right?
Yeah, but it was like with prostitutes and stuff.
Oh, is that what it was? I don't know. Yeah. I thought it had to do with players and like paying players and recruiting violations and stuff like that. To me, that stuff is nothing because it doesn't affect the integrity of the game.
It's just trying to get players to come down
here. Affected here.
Yeah, but like I think what happened with Miami, and I have mixed feelings about it. because as long as nobody was like as long as there was no harm done, then I don't think it's that big of a deal. But it was something with prostitutes and stuff like that. So yes, it's illegal. I don't think it was a violation against like humanity and stuff like that, where like it was some kind of assault or something like that. But it obviously that activity is not legal, so they had to serve, because I think it had even to do with like rappers and stuff, like 2 Live Crew.
Luke giving money to the players.
Yeah. So, and I'm not being judgmental when I say that. This is just, I didn't read too much into it. It's just
which is perfectly legal now, by the way. So it's like
exactly.
We're talking about stuff that they've changed the rules, and that's perfectly legal now.
So, but I mean, and I'm glad we're talking about all these other different scenarios, because in my eyes, it's not the same as what Jim Harbaugh did, because that's actually putting teams and players in danger. It's like, because they know what you're going to do. And I don't know if there was any injuries that came about it, but we weren't looking to see something, that kind of information. And I hope somebody is looking up that kind of information. Was there, look at the type of injuries that might have happened, or some, you know what I mean? Like, because if somebody is going to be standing right there when they're not supposed to be, when you turn around, that can cause an injury. Like if it's, or, however defensive schemes work. But if you know exactly what the other team is going to do, that's, I think, more dangerous to the other team. But that can be a whole conversation. I'm just saying it's just, that's a high level amount of cheating. And like, did he really have to do that? I mean, he went all the way to the Super Bowl when he was in the NFL. So obviously he knows how to coach, but was he cheating then? We don't know. So it's like, I can't believe anything he says. So I don't know. I really can't believe anything he says. Like I said, get an offensive coordinator job and do your job. But I'm not going to, because that way you don't really have to worry about anything he says. He just needs to just have product on the field that works. And he doesn't have a whole lot of responsibilities besides offensive coordinator. We don't have to listen to what he says. We just need to make sure that we got the right plays. I don't know. Because I wouldn't trust him as a head coach, because he's going to have people freaking flying all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get one of those submarines.
Harbaugh has all the right requisites to become the Patriots' next head coach.
I mean, hey, if we know how to spy, come on now.
Hey, maybe that's what he was doing, adding that to his resume, bro.
He's like, you know what team is good in the NFL to go to? I like that when the Patriots played the Eagles, there was a meme that came out and it showed Bill Belichick like dressed as like an Eagles like where like he worked for the team, and it said the Eagles new like field manager guy.
Right.
Like this.
They should have put him. They should have put him in the eagle costume. You know what I mean, with a camera.
He's like doing a handstand.
Right, while taking a camera shot. Yeah, like he's on his. Yeah.
He brings out his camera as the eagle.
Right. Or down in Miami, he comes in as Air TD. Air TD's bouncing around.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like he's inside there snapping photos. Air
we need to have like
a
text message meme chat. A text message chat where it's like between Belichick and Jim Harbaugh, and they're like talking about like something that has to do with spying. like no, you did it wrong.
Mm-hmm. Or you know what? It would be
why
a good one.
Did you do that?
You know what we could do? We could do Mad TV Spy versus Spy.
they spy on each other.
Yeah.
They spy on each other.
Right, except put one of them in Michigan colors and the other in Patriots colors. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And they're like neighbors.
Right. I got you, Tonk.
And like the house is white.
And like it's a whole neighborhood of people that look like them. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh!
And then there's like a little baby one.
It's like, how would you?
And they have like the wife,
But like the interview that he just had, I mean, the look on his face, he gives no fucks right now. He has zero fucks. He was like, yeah, I wish I was a lawyer. I wish I was a judge. It's like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, you're in court. You're going to court for something that you did, and you're talking about, yeah, I wish I was an attorney. like he has no care. He has no care. He does not care.
Real quick, hey, Crypto, how was he when you met him in the Baltimore? Because when he was at a Stephen D and Crypto were at a Baltimore Orioles game, and they sat next to Harbaugh, right? Did I get it right, Crypto?
Yes, actually, when we showed up to go to our seats, the football team was sitting in our seats, and it was open in that section. It was, it was kind of like sit wherever you want at that point, But it was ironic that his football teams was sitting in mid-Steven seats, and they said we're going to let you have the opportunity to meet the head coach. I guess one of his assistants came over and said, yeah, you guys can come over and talk to him. You he's very personable in person. He doesn't come off to me as this big shot guy who can't speak to the general public. I never got that vibe from him.
I didn't get that vibe
even when he was in Chicago as their quarterback, I
mean, it sucks because I was rooting for him in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wasn't rooting against the Ravens, but
he was very good. He was very good in person. He's like,
well,
just a
you
regular
have to
guy.
be,
I mean,
you have to be that level and have so much success as he's had.
It's weird. A Michigan football team going to a out-of-state game, in another city outside of Michigan, and two baseball teams that's not even have anything to do with the state of Michigan.
So what's crazy is when I went to the UW basketball game, the head coach of the football team came in there. They announced because he just got to 10-0, and they announced him, and he walked out onto the court. It was dope. And
yeah, Cubs and Nationals playing. I'm like, damn, you got the Michigan football team here.
What's his name? Isaiah Thomas sat behind me.
Yep.
Not the one from
the basketball player or the other basketball player.
The son. No, not Isaiah Thomas.
I don't think it's his son.
No.
Not the one that played on
the guy looks like Ja Rule.
the small.
Yeah, he played on the Celtics and he played for Washington, University of Washington.
Right.
He played for the Celtics in 2011 or 2012.
Right.
And I was gonna go up
sitting behind you,
dude. He was sitting like, dude. You know what's crazy? I almost sat right next to where he sat, just because I just wanted to sit there. And like something told me to sit there, and I was like, no, I want to go sit over here. And then he sits there, and I'm like, no, like because I would have been talking to him, man. I would have tried to get him involved in stuff I'm doing out here with music and stuff. That would have been so dope. But he left like early. He left because I was going to try to like finesse a way to get up and talk to him, but I wanted to wait a little bit. And then he left at third quarter, so I didn't get a chance.
Who won that game, by the way?
It's a nice experience. Just going to a random game and just meeting random people that's involved in sports.
Yeah.
Different sports or different.
And then
sports,
when I went to the opening game this season that just passed, for the Seattle Storm women's basketball team, Sue Bird was there. It was pretty cool. Yeah, I mean it's the city. I mean, there's just so much sports here that it's just like
Dan Aykroyd was at Wrigley Field. He was at the Cubs game.
Cubs
games we went to. He's there all the time.
But yeah, Dan this stuff
is you can always catch him at a Cubs game.
As a matter of fact, Dolphin Winters, he went to the Michigan, he was at the Minnesota game last year and took a picture with Chris Jericho.
The wrestler?
Oh, yeah. The wrestler Jericho. Damn.
He was at the game. He took a picture with him.
Yeah, I mean, because nobody was like, I'm a little bit more willing to walk up to people and talk to them a lot more than a lot of other people because nobody was going up and talking to them because it's just, I don't know, but I just know how to do it. But I just, like I said, I didn't it's just, I didn't give myself enough time or I didn't, it's just difficult because you don't want to just charge somebody.
Yeah, I feel you.
You know what I mean? and because I wanted him to embrace, conversation. But yeah, it was a good weekend of sports.
Yeah, how do you small talk a guy like that without?
I know it's
without asking about the weather. You know what I mean? It's like
oh shit!
so
Like
cliche, like how about
I
that?
never looked at the
How about them
broadcast of that
Cubs?
game neither. I never looked at the broadcast of the game. I was like, did they even show us on TV? I always wanted to go back and watch the national broadcast of it. You know how they have special attendees and they'll pan over to that area that attendee is in. I never went back.
They likely did.
They likely
did, bro. Did you go back and watch it?
No, I didn't. I didn't even go back and watch the game. I was intending to do so.
I
go back and watch
guarantee
the
you
whole
they
game
did,
and
bro.
see if they
Because
what game were you talking about?
Baseball is boring, so they would have definitely done something like that, dude.
Yeah, the Nationals
I got a poster
Cup game.
of the basketball team.
Yeah, they probably did.
I remember when I used when I was working at the stadium, I met Daryl Gardner, and I met Scottie Pippen.
Damn, Scottie Pippen. Damn, dude, you met Scottie Pippen?
Man.
Yeah, I got his autograph and everything.
Oh man, that's legend right there.
Yeah,
even Jordan says he wouldn't have won.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
If it wasn't for Pippen.
Mm-hmm.
Only dude I ever met in Publix was at a Publix. It was Joel Higgins.
Oh, I thought you said Joe Mixon.
No, well, it would have been awesome if it was Joe Mixon.
That would be.
But yeah, Joel Higgins is the guy that played the father on Silver Spoons with Ricky Schroeder.
With Schroeder.
And when I was at Gulfstream Park, I met and I got his autograph on my passport, O.J. Simpson.
Oh shit, O.J.
O.J.
When?
Simpson. Yeah. This was back in 2000. I want to say 2002, around that era.
Man, is that the notorious JP I see in chat? Man, been a while, JP. How you doing?
Yeah, so go to the next one.
All right, go to the next one. I got you.
Thank you.
No problema.
Yeah, so I went to UW football and UW basketball game this weekend. It was awesome. It's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. But it was a lot of fun. That football game was crazy. It was a really good game. So that's my second UW football game and my second UW basketball game this season.
And by the way, every time I see UW's hat, I always think of Wario.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why, but
I know, right? I do too, Shake. I just never thought to verbalize that.
What you said, Mario?
Wario.
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 It's golden.
Yeah, Bizarro. It's Bizarro Mario, right?
Or it's his brother. It's his brother, I think.
Oh, is it? I thought it was alternate universe Mario.
Yeah, it's alternate. Yeah, it's alternate universe.
It's his brother. No, it's
alternate. No, Luigi's his brother.
Oh, yeah, you are right. Yes.
It's like an evil,
right. But Bizarro Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot that because I don't think I played that. Then when did they like bring him out as a character?
I don't know. Late 2000. I never played him.
Yeah, right around. I think right around the Mario Kart, or right when they actually. I think it was when they started up the cartoon they had for him for a minute.
Because he was on the Nintendo 64 Mario Kart.
Right. Mario Kart is the first time.
Because he was like, hey.
Yeah.
And I was like, who is this
weird
guy?
That they didn't name him.
Well, Super Mario goes further back. It's like 30 plus years now.
Because we had Wario's he had a track. Yeah. No, 64. He wasn't on Super Nintendo.
No.
He's on regular Nintendo. Mario Brothers. I'm talking about Super Mario Brothers. That was on the first Nintendo.
Was in those?
No, he was 2003.
No, Wario wasn't. But Crypto's just saying how far they go back. They go, yeah. Remember there was Mario Brothers, which was an entire different game in the arcade, and then they came out with Super Mario Brothers when Nintendo debuted.
Yeah.
Right.
But Mario Brothers is like a spin-off of Donkey Kong.
Yeah, and Atari. Yeah, it was an Atari too.
Right, but the story's a spin-off of Donkey Kong.
Correct. Yeah, you're right. Correct.
Yeah, good old. I buy actually for my Switch. I bought the Super Mario All Stars, and it has 64, and then Sunshine, and then one other one. But it's really cool to be able to play that 64 game on a Switch. It's like basically the same thing as the older game.
So
it's
so
really
they have
cool.
like an emulator inside the
it's like it's basic. It feels exactly the same. It doesn't feel like the game was expensive. The game was $98, and now they only made so many of them. Now I see them online for $150.
It's amazing how the Switch has so much more processing power than them old Nintendos. You know what I mean? That they can run all the Nintendo like that, and like you're getting the same
I love
experience.
my Switch. I love my Switch. I bought it because I wanted to have like just a really good updated version for Smash Brothers and Mario Kart, because those games are they're timeless. Like
did you ever do Mario Tennis? I used to love Mario Tennis, man. I thought the gameplay physics as a tennis game were pretty good with that game, dude. Like, forget the characters, you know what I mean?
Yeah, my favorite racing game
was
Toy Story. Was Toy Story Racing on PlayStation 1.
Toy Story.
Well, actually, Mario Kart is my favorite racing game. But remember on Sega, they had the game Road Rash?
Yeah.
Where, like, you would be on a motorcycle and you pull up next to the guy and you'd hit him with a freaking baseball bat or something.
Yeah, that's an old arcade.
Man, I remember because
that's an old arcade title, too.
My mom even liked it. She didn't play them, but she loved to see me play games like that because she thought it was so cool.
Right.
She was the coolest mom.
Wasn't the arcade version of that game the one where you could actually get on the bike in the arcade? Wasn't that Road Rash?
No, that was just a racing game.
Okay.
Because, I mean, you can't hit the guy next to you, son of a bitch. You would press
I remember earlier versions, or like I'm thinking of another bike game that was like straight up just race biking, and it was like
that was just a racing game. Yeah.
Right.
Or like what was the game? Cruising US? No, it was called
Cruising USA.
Yes, but that's not what I'm talking about.
And then Cruising World they had, but yeah.
There was another game that it was like a race car game, but you could like drive the cars like everywhere, like would be on like a building. We'd be like driving around on a building and stuff like that.
That was Grand Theft?
No. It was, I forgot what it was called. Rush. It was called Rush. RUSH.
Okay.
Rush to the
You know what game was really, really awesome? Nintendo 64 Duke Nukem.
Oh yeah.
Because you could play.
That opened the door for all the first-person shooters, dude.
That game was
actually it was Doom.
Doom.
It was Doom. It was Doom.
Yep.
And Duke Nukem, yeah.
So
that was the first person.
Like we had the cheat code on where you could run really fast, or like I don't know, maybe I hit something and I got a fast speed, but like you could shoot, like if you played in the arena, it was like you were just in a big open arena, and like I had I forgot what I did, but I had like really fast running, and my friend shot a heat seeker rocket launcher at me. So I'm running around the stadium faster than the rocket, but like I could see on his side of the screen, you could see me like run by, and then you see the rocket like fly by chasing me. It was just so much fun, man. Like, oh man, it's like we don't really get games like that. We don't get games have changed so much through the years. It's not really the same as it used to be. Like, I don't think it's.
I know it's just simply there.
It doesn't. I don't think it brings people together as much as
they're all simply a money grab now, dude. It's all marketing now, bro. It has, it's not even about the games anymore. It's a real shame.
Because like when one of the places I lived here in Seattle, I had a roommate and we used to play video games. But I would the way I would find games to play was like I would have a very specific search that said like split screen co-op. So that way we could play it on one state, like one console, the same game, like split screen, because
you could do
that's
that
hard to find nowadays.
You could do that with Top Gun back in the old Nintendo days.
Yeah.
Where both of you'd be looking at the same TV. And it was just split, right?
Because they just don't, everything is online nowadays and 250 gigabytes. And it's just like, but it is what it is. I'm not complaining, but it's like I'm glad I got to have that kind of gameplay. You know what I mean? Like I appreciate it that I got to have something like that, like sleepovers and stuff when we would, play Nintendo. I mean, I guess they still do it, but I don't know. It's not the same.
You know what's so crazy, Tonk? So you know how expensive video games are nowadays, right?
Yeah.
It's like $100 a pop. A lot of it is all graphic skins that you're paying for and subscriptions. That's all it is now, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
that's how they get you.
Check this out. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. I grew up with the NES, the Super Nintendo, the N64, the age of the consoles, right? I grew up during that time.
Same here.
So I went and bought a classic NES system that was refurbished, right? And I bought a special cartridge that allows me to put a micro SD card in it. And I found out that all of those games that I used to play, all the original classic NES games, and even the Super Nintendo games, even N64 games, you can download them completely for free. Completely for free. You can download. I actually have in my possession a Super Nintendo also. And I have the cartridge that has every single game, not just made here in the US, but made around the world for both systems.
Where did you get that? Where?
Collection. Huh?
Where?
There are websites that sell the ROMs on not even sell the ROMs.
Yeah, but I don't know how to do. What do you have to do to make it work?
So you have to have this system, of course. So an NES or a Super Nintendo or a retro system that plays that style of cartridge. And then there's a special cartridge you can get called the EverDrive. That's the company that makes them. And
hold on a second, I gotta write this down, dude. That's
EverDrive.
And then I'm guessing that EverDrive cartridge has a SD card slot with all the ROMs on it. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's where you put the slot. And I can give you the website where I downloaded these games, bro. And it's the entire collection. I come to find out, I didn't even know this. There are people still making games for Super Nintendo that you can download. Correct.
Like new ones.
Yeah, like new ones. Like you never played before.
Right.
Well, yeah, because that's like beginning game programming now. Like when you get into learning game programming.
I burned so many hours in that game, not even funny.
Yeah, I was saying when you get into game programming.
So can you play Sega Genesis games on there?
Yes, you can, as long as you have the Sega Genesis EverDrive. The EverDrive cartridge you buy is specific to the system.
But it can go in a Super Nintendo.
No. Let me explain.
No, you have to buy the cartridge for the Super Nintendo.
The company is called EverDrive. I'll link it to you, but the EverDrive cartridge
for Nintendo or Sega Genesis.
Yeah, you have to get one specific to the system that you have.
Well, they sell those Sega Genesis now with like 150 games on it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's nothing. That's like a mini system that they sell.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's still a lot of games.
It's cool, but if you're looking for like the whole collection or the specific games, it may not be on one of those 150 games.
It didn't have the games that I wanted. I'm like, it has all these games, and like
I know it's amazing.
One game. I'm like,
it's amazing.
I'm like, I'm not buying it, or I would have bought it. But it had one game. Like,
it's amazing that they could choose 150 games, which obviously those are popular games, but not one of them is right. That not one of them is one we were interested in. Exactly.
Yeah, I was like, I want any of this shit.
You know, it's funny.
Yeah. I don't care what you say when it comes to Sega Genesis. I gotta have Sonic the Hedgehog. All of them.
Here's
That's
one
the best game ever made.
There was the game. It was like this, it was like this robot made out of like electricity, like little bulbs of electricity, and he had a little gun like this. And I saw a video for it the other day, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I used to play that game. I loved that game. It was a dope ass game."
Bro,
There
was not much better than NBA Jams on Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Me and my dad used to play this one game.
I liked
Super
that on
Nintendo.
arcade.
And we would play hours upon hours and spend time together, and it was ridiculous. And that game was called Smash TV. I'll never forget it. I have that game. But that game was. That's what I'm saying. Some of those games back in the day were much better for the multiplayer. Playing with your friends. Nowadays, it's like, I don't know. I don't get into it.
You got to play with somebody halfway across the world.
Fortnite is ridiculous.
Hey, just
Fortnite is
FYI.
another level.
Hey, just so you know, Crypto, on your phone, go to Google's App Store. You could actually download the original Sonic the Hedgehog and play it on your phone.
I'll be right back.
The whole game.
Oh yeah. Now you can do it now on Android.
Yeah, Android.
Okay,
You
I'm
can play
downloading it.
You
Okay.
and that and Streets of Rage.
It's likely it'll
Yep, that's
recognize
another
it.
one.
And Crypto, it's very likely that it'll recognize a USB gamepad too. You could probably hook up to your phone.
Yeah, it probably will. Yeah, or the Bluetooth version of it, where I got the remote controller.
Oh, right.
Pairs with
A
my phone.
Bluetooth, yeah, a Bluetooth gamepad, sure.
Yeah, that's nice. I like the Contra and Sonic. Boy, I play them all day.
Oh yeah,
I love
Contra and
Contra.
Super Contra, they were so good, man. I love
Yeah,
it.
I can't play Contra without the cheat code. Sorry.
Well, Contra is just one of the few games I was able to complete.
I got something to say though about Sonic. Okay,
I love it.
and I'm only gonna say this once.
Uh-huh.
If it ain't Sonic and Knuckles, I ain't playing.
No.
Yeah, Sonic would. That's why I say all
Sonic
versions
and
of
Knuckles,
Sonic,
dude.
I could play forever, man.
But like Sonic and Knuckles was like different. Remember, because like I think you could like team up with them. Remember, I had
Sonic
the Hedgehog as my
did right. They did the
I
split
love Sonic
screen.
so
They
much.
did the split screen for 2-player on that too, Tonk.
But you could also have the Sonic and Knuckles game, and then you could put Sonic 2 on it. Remember that?
Hey, Crypto, I remember when I first met you, I was on Larry's
Game
panel.
Genie? Remember Game
Who's playing
Genie?
Sonic? I remember I was like, who's playing Sonic the Hedgehog? You know, oh, that's my ringtone. I'm like, oh yeah.
Right. You remember that shake? I even had Sonic the Hedgehog as my ringtone.
You know what was crazy?
So Yo, all the stages too. I have them.
On Xbox One, I mean, you could probably do it on Series S or whatever that is. You could buy this emulator. It's a Sega Genesis emulator, and you can play Sega Genesis games, but you can play them online with other people. So I played Sonic with another person.
Okay, so they got network mode. You can put it in.
Yeah, and like what was crazy was when you go into the game, it's a screen and it's like you're in a room and there's a little TV and you have like games that you can choose. Like you're a hand and you take the game out and you put it in the cartridge, and then it's crazy. It brings you in. It's like it kind of like brings you into a room where you guys play on a Sega. Yeah.
I wonder if they have that for VR as well.
It had a lot of potential. It was really, really cool, but it wouldn't work properly with the Xbox One controller. Like when I tried to spin or jump or whatever, it just didn't work. And so you couldn't play it because it didn't function correctly. And there was a couple other games on there, but it was a really, really interesting concept. It was I think it was their best attempt to try to bring back that retro feeling, but online. Because, I said, you had to go into a room and look at the retro console and choose the cartridge.
Right, and Tonk, it's likely that they've probably parlayed that into a template for Meta or or Oculus or something, where they have a VR room you can go to inside and do that. You know what I mean? That's probably what it.
My Oculus got all
into.
Kinds of shit on there now.
So I'm saying that's probably what that development team evolved into. You know what I mean? Without knowing for sure, I
tried to play this game. I think it's called Apex or Axe or something like that. Axe or something. It's like prehistoric. Arc. But I don't know. It's just there was so much you have to do.
Everybody seems to be into that lately.
Well, what I ended up start doing was when I would see when I see somebody else on there, I would run up and start punching them and kill them. Or like you could walk up to a big ass dinosaur.
Spawn camper, is
You
that what
could
you are?
walk
A
up
spawn
and
camper?
like you could punch the dinosaur and it goes and it like tramples, it like chases you down and tramples you. Or like if you go, or if you go swimming in the water, there's like these big predator ass fish that like will eat you. Like the game is crazy. Like
megalodonic.
It's basically like swimming in the ocean like 65 million years ago. It's like there's no way I would go in the like it's just like there's no way I'm going in that water, dude. Like
back when alligator gar were alligators.
yeah. We're and like alligators were megalodon.
Right.
You're right.
You remember
Super-sized
Tonk,
creatures.
back when you were still here, you remember like in all these canals you got them mudfish, we call them. They're actually, the technical name is they're bowfins, but they call them mudfish, right?
Or mud puppy.
Possibly. I don't know if I've heard.
Is it like a snake looking thing, or is it something
it is kind of a really ugly looking bottom feeder snake type of fish?
Yeah,
absolutely.
mud puppy.
But those are actually prehistoric. Those things were living when freaking dinosaurs were around.
That's
dude.
Crazy. Have you seen
they're
that?
the oldest fish in Florida, like evolutionary.
It was that's crazy. That's why I've only ever seen one, and I never heard of it until that one day that I saw it. The guy was like, "Oh, I'm like, what the hell is that thing?"
Yeah,
and he's like, "That's a mud puppy." I'm like,
they
what
actually are actually so old evolutionarily that they are the ancestors of other stuff. So in other words, stuff that got out of the water. Stuff that got out of the water and developed lungs and walked on land from the canal were from mudfish. So like they actually have like
that's the thing.
Like living ancestors, basically.
I think is the reason we have a 9 to 5. Kill that thing, dude.
Right. It's just neat that they're actually a living right. They're actually a living ancestor of some land walking animals. That's what's so fascinating about it. It's like granddaddy, great granddaddy is still alive, you know.
Like regardless of like like if you're religious or you're not, or atheist or whatever, evolution can still be religious too. Like it could have been something that God allowed to happen.
Because coexist.
That's the crux of the content over at Modern Day Debate on YouTube.
Yeah, well, yes, because it's like, well, what if he just let it happen? Like, I don't think that he, did this. I think he just let it happen.
That would be defined as a deity, like if you would be a deist if that's the type of God you believed in, a God that
because our energy goes somewhere, but like
a God that just set it in motion and doesn't have any control over anything. That would make you a deist if you believed in that type of God.
Captain Deist at your service.
God spoke, bang, it happened.
I've never played Zelda games.
The only real difference between a deist and a theist is that a theist believes that the God still affects our lives, like it's an active
aliens
God.
do. No,
right.
Then those are aliens, because I mean now it's so crazy. Like I don't think anybody believes that aliens don't exist. Ghosts are just spirits that just haven't been absorbed yet.
Well,
I've had encounters.
And don't get me started on the word ghost.
Now,
B McD, don't get me started on the word ghost. I can make an entire show out of the word ghost.
So can I. We'll save that for another day.
Right, and it's history. You know what I'm talking about, Tonk. It's like that word is one of the most complex words in the English language, by the way. People don't even realize it. It's a really, really fascinating word. I'll have to.
I can see that. It's like when you translate. It's like when you translate words from other languages, you kind of lose the meaning of them.
Well, right. Well,
like the significance of the word changes when you change the language.
And also words like if you trace all of the languages we speak from like Europe down even into India, a lot of those languages go all the way back to a common Indo-European root, right? Well, the word ghost.
Egyptian.
Right. Well, the word ghost, just as a little just to touch on it for a second, the word ghost came from the same root word. At one time in human history, there was one language that both the word ghost and the word the word host and the word guest both were one word. Like there was only one word to describe the relationship between the guest and the host and both of their responsibilities to each other. And it was one word. And the word ghost, geist, guest, gast, spirit, all of these words come from that original root word, including the word ghost.
An old Germanic word.
And keep going. Yeah. And the word ghost is, yes, but keep going further back. There was, at one time, there was a language that had one word to describe both of those words. Because if you think about the word ghost, think about the word. Well, think about the word ghost or geist, right? Or poltergeist.
I don't know. Oh,
or something like poltergeist, for instance, right? Geist is just the German word for ghost, pretty much, or spirit, right? But here's the thing. So take the word ghost. If you're a ghost in a house, right? From your perspective, you're the host. That's your dwelling. You're still there. You died, whatever, but your spirit still remains. That's your dwelling from your perspective as the ghost. But from the family's perspective that moves in the house, you're the guest. You're the guest, and they're the host. You see what I'm saying?
Huh, that's interesting.
So it's literally the same word. It's just it's meant to describe the relationship between the two, the guest and the host.
That's crazy.
I told you, it's a fascinating word. It's one of the words that you can really teach somebody about linguistics.
Well, it's like what I said with like different languages. I remember I worked for a woman. She was Arabian, and so she spoke Arabic a lot. As like just like she would just be conversing, like not trying to purposely not speak English, but it was just natural. But like I would be in, like I worked for her, and so I'd be in the store with them, her or other associates, and I'd hear her speaking in Arabic, and then she would just say, like, she'd be saying something in Arabic, and then she would go swimming pool, and then she would start saying something else in Arabic, and it's like I guess there isn't a word for swimming pool,
right? For that concept of swimming pool, right?
Yeah, it's like that isn't a concept in that language. So she says swimming pool, and it was so funny because it was so smooth leading up to the word swimming pool, and then it was like swimming pool, and then it was so smooth after it. It was just so funny. I was like, that's such an interesting thing.
What'll happen, Tonk? Now what'll happen is they don't currently have a word, but this is where you get a case of reverse evolution in addition to a language, where they'll get so used to adding that word swimming pool in their language that eventually their mouth actually will physically evolve to say it a different way to make it easier, more convenient, more societally accepted, whatever it may be. And or it might even change. Well, actually, there's a system that they know that words actually evolve from like the back of the mouth to the front. So like certain, like a back of the mouth K sound will evolve to be a front of the mouth M sound. And it's like two letters that don't even sound like each other could come from each other. You know what I mean?
You know why?
And so it may get to the point where that word becomes swimple. Or something like that. You know what I mean?
Do you know why there, in some languages, such as Arabic, that some words they just say the English word for it, and there's not an Arabic word for it?
Right.
Do you know why?
Why?
Do tell.
One thing that's interesting about the Arabic language is that it doesn't have a full alphabet. There are letters that we use, for example, like the letter P. They don't have a letter P in the Arabic.
It's like,
so swimming
like
pool.
The letter R in Russian is like a K.
Yeah,
right. So after 1,000 years,
Japanese. I'm sorry, caller. Let me just
no problem.
Get it. In the Japanese language, there's technically, I believe, 2 different alphabets. If I'm not, maybe 3.
Oh my gosh!
And because of that,
because the symbols.
Yeah,
they have symbols, and then they have
just
words.
That, but certain words they just don't have a letter
because a lot of their changes come in inflection too. Your inflection will completely change the meaning of a word.
I think English is the easiest language.
But here's the thing.
I mean, I know we have dove and dove.
Well, Japanese,
all right, I get it.
Class 5 language. It's one of the hardest that in Arabic.
Right.
Japanese
what is?
In Arabic.
Yeah. Chinese, Japanese, that's got to be super hard.
Oh, it is. So Ali, so since there's no P, right? Yeah. Now, after a couple hundred years, swimming pool wouldn't be swimple. It would probably be something more like swimmule or something. You know what I mean? It'll actually change over time to where they'll adopt an easier way to say it.
Oh, there's
where
no
it
P.
Makes more,
that's
to where it makes it more fluid in the air in their language. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how words change over time. That's how a word like 100 came from a word Kim Tum. You can't imagine a word 100 coming from the word Kim Tum, but that's its original root word.
The only way I could learn another language is to just move to that country. Because the one time I went to Mexico, I was there for about 6 hours, like in Mexico, like with the street signs and everything and the population. And like I was learning Spanish like nothing. I was like, I could do this. But like here in like where I'm not forced, it's just it's so much so much to try to learn.
And on the last note on that last what we were just talking about, the word 100 comes from the original Indo-European proto root Kim Tum. But so does the Latin cien.
Calm, baby.
But so does the Latin cien or ciento. So every like the Spanish word ciento for 100 and the Germanic word hundo for 100 and eventually English 100 both came from the same word Kim Tum.
Kim Tum, baby.
Tonk, it's Kim Tum, like if you imagine two people named Kim and Tum.
You know, one thing about the funny thing is in Spanish, if it's 100, it's cien. If it's more than 100, then it's ciento.
Right. And right, exactly, Shaken. Thanks for that. Thanks for that slight adjustment. And what I was meaning to say that they used to think that the Latin and the Romance languages came from a different root than the Germanic languages, and they did, except both of those roots came from the same root. You see what I'm saying? So ciento and 100 came from the same root word.
Why did Latin die as a language?
It turned into French, basically, because French became the most, and German became the language of bureaucracy after the Roman Empire fell.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they spoke Latin, like Julius Caesar spoke Latin.
But Latin still, I think to this day remains the main language of Christendom as far as that bureaucracy goes.
Right? Isn't that what they speak in the?
They no longer require the Catholic Church to perform mass in Latin. By the way,
right. Now that Latin though is different from the Latin that the Romans spoke. That's Old Latin. It's a different, it's an older Latin.
That's something I wanted to bring up though, like Arabic and Farsi, which is Persian language, which if you're wondering what the difference is, because I forget what they call the type of scripture that they use and how they write. The difference is that the Persians added those missing letters. There's 5 missing letters that Arabs don't have in their alphabet versus like English and
so that was more of an elite transfer where they took the bulk of the Arabic languages but added the parts that they wanted from theirs.
But Farsi in itself is an Indo-European language.
Of course.
Because if you look at for example, how you say thank you, they use the word merci. Just like the French do.
Because that's the Indo-Iranian root, which goes back to the Indo-European, right? And real quick, Ali, so what Ali's talking about, this is the other fascinating part about what I was saying about ciento and 100 coming from the same root word, Kim Tum. So does whatever word they use for 100 in Sanskrit.
Yeah.
It comes from that same word, Kim Tum.
Sanskrit. That's
Sanskrit, bro. English is in French and Latin and Spanish are actually related to the same root that Sanskrit came from.
Hold on. What is the word for 100 in Spanish?
Cien or ciento, depends. Like Shake said, if you go over 100, it's ciento.
Because Persians use the word sat as 100.
Right. And that word also came from Kim Tum. Somehow.
Yeah, basically what I was trying to get at what I was trying to get at, Color, was that 90% of all languages is a derivative or the foundation is based off of Latin pretenses. And in what the words that we use, the origins come from that old Latin language.
Well, yeah, because there was a reverse inflow.
That's because the Romans were a force to reckon with.
Not only that, but in modern times, there was a reverse inflow with the French coming into a lot of that area. You know what I mean? And governing a lot of that area.
I'm surprised we're not all speaking Mongolian.
Mm-hmm. But it ultimately didn't matter, Ali, because even if that didn't happen, you still may have developed Merci because they both came from Indo-European.
Yeah. So, what we got up next?
All right, next on the docket. Let me get that real quick.
So, this group is a group I am going to try to book for a show here in Seattle or in Everett. This it's called Circle of Bosses or Shoe Gang. And how I have their email, but they do a live show every Tuesday, I think at 9 p.m. Western, called UNG radio station. So when they go live tonight, I'm going to ask to go live and see if they'd be interested in getting booked up here. And their leader, his name is King Crooked. He's actually, I don't know if he's still signed by Eminem, but I know he's been signed by Eminem for many years now. And I met him in person. He's one of the coolest dudes I ever met. So, because I'm getting real big into tour management now. I just did the Riff Raff show. That was so awesome. Last Wednesday.
Tour management, bro. That's fucking cool, dude.
Yeah. I've done a couple shows now. So the company I'm working with is called Got the Juice ENT. This dude Josh, and we met because I was just going to shows, and he reached out to me, offered me like looking for just someone to partner up with, and so I said yes, invested a little bit, and that's who I invested with the song with Dizzy Wright that I have a contract for as the executive producer, and now doing other shows with him. So last Wednesday was with Riff Raff, and that was dope. I was on stage with everybody all night. Like I had to buy Riff Raff his freaking bottle of tequila, and we didn't have a green room at the concert venue, so I kept everything in my car. I kept the water, some rags, and I had to get some tequila, and I had to keep it in my car until he got there. So when he showed up, he was in his Sprinter van, and I walked up and I said special delivery, and I went into his Sprinter van with him. We got some pictures and stuff. And then
so you have to provide concierge services too.
Sometimes, yes.
Right, I got you.
But awesome. I also regulated the show like between different sets, and like it was so much fun.
Right, that's
and awesome. I'm kind of gotten into it.
If I could go back in life, I would get into something like that, bro. That's
cool. So but like you have to be invited. Like the reason I'm in it is because like I just keep putting myself.
Because you're fucking cool, man.
And yeah, it's I'm having a great time doing it. And then next year we're really pushing hard, like really gonna push this hard. So I'm trying to like book like a show. Like he said like if it makes sense booking them and costs and stuff like that, then he's in. So I was like, man, that'd be crazy because he's a fan of them too. So and actually,
my brother-in-law had a friend that did tour management for Dropkick Murphys, bro. I got to meet them. Got to go back and meet them. That's pretty cool.
2 years ago, they Shoe Gang Circle of Bosses. I've been a fan since 2015 because that's when I met Crooked Eye. I mean, I was always a fan of Crooked Eye, but I became a fan of them after meeting Crooked Eye and meeting them and how cool they were. And so 2 years ago, their radio station that they go live on Instagram, I typed in the thing because I wrote them a poem. And one of their artists, his name is Demi. And it was mainly for him because he had a big tattoo of a number 7 on his back. So I liked that. So I framed the poem around him, but I also talked about Circle of Bosses too. And I went live and I read it and they really, really liked it. And so they asked for my information. I actually got on a song with them with one of the members. His name is Kenny. I don't know if it's been released yet. I actually need to reach out to them about it, but they've shown me a lot of respect both times I've had interactions with them. So it's just really cool. Like it's really cool to make connections and talk to people. So I don't know when they're going to be going live, maybe 9 o'clock, but I'm going to do that tonight and see how it goes. So wish me luck. But
good freaking luck, man.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Tell him
I like South Familiar. He signed Death Row. He was on Death Row Records at one time, right?
Dude, he's so dope. He's so dope. He's one of the dopest artists I've ever heard. Like if you just Google Crooked Eye freestyles on YouTube and just listen to, like, he has ones on there from like 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and they're so good. And he's so lyrical. He was in Slaughterhouse with Royce 5'9" and Joe Budden. Yeah, he's and like when I met him, it was during a Ritz concert in Tampa, Florida, and Ritz was on stage. He was the headliner, and so I was just looking around and I see Crooked Eye like standing in the bar, like by the bar, just like this, and I'm like, holy shit! And so I went up to him and I was just talking to him. He was the coolest freaking guy. I bought one of his CDs and he signed the hell out of it. He put Shady on there. He wrote King Crooked Eye, and then he put Shady again. I was just like, oh. And he was telling me how cool it was to be signed by Eminem. I'm like, oh my gosh, man, this is amazing. Like he was telling me how happy he was, like to be signed by Eminem and like everything he's doing. It was just like the dude has had so much success and he's been so made it so far in music. For him to come down to that level and just be with his fan base like that is just like, it's just crazy. Like you can't ask for more as far as like, you know, someone you have paid for their music, you know, it was an amazing time. And I've just always had so much respect for him since that. And so it's led to, it's kind of led to this, honestly, you know, that initial respect.
Well, tell him we said hi, bro. Tell them, tell them guys you're calling in.
I mean, if I can get him to come up here, probably sometime next year, and it's going to be it's going to be huge.
I mean, all the guys you're talking to tonight. We said.
Yeah. So
to Crooked Eye, Fast Car Freestyle.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. It kind of hold on. It kind of has that Tupac feel to it, kind of. If you listen to the song and the rhythm and the music and
did you say it Fast Car Freestyle?
Yeah.
You mean Fast Car from what's her name?
Yes, go listen to it, dude.
Really?
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about that song? Crooked Eye himself. Because I was telling him, I was like, dog, the freestyles that you have, 811, and 811 Part 2. I was like, dog, they're so dope. He's like, go listen to, and he has the other song called Fireflies. You remember that song in 2010, Fireflies? He did a remix that's so dope. And I was talking to him about that, and he's like, go listen to Fast Cars Freestyle. And I'm like, he told me to go listen to that song. I didn't even know it was on there. He's so dope, dude. He's so dope. I'm telling you right now. He's one of my favorite artists of all time. Like he's had massive success, but he's just so humble. Like he's Eminem even named him top 10 MCs of as far as what Eminem thinks. He put him on his top 10 list of all time.
You know, that's funny that you just cited that Tonk, because I bet you like 50 years from now, there's going to be like other competing lists besides Billboard. And that it'd probably be like Eminem 100, you know, and like people don't even know who Eminem, it'll be long dead. And like, his name will live on as a freaking like a Billboard list, you know, the Eminem top 100 rappers, you know.
I don't know. I mean,
well, it's kind of like,
it's a standard. Too many people know. It's a standardization.
Not too many people know who Casey Kasem is either,
right.
But still lives
that's
on.
like it ends up being like a standardization, Tonk, like the THX standard of sound. You know what I mean?
And to answer War Times, I have met Yellow Wolf and I met Ritz 4 times now, or maybe 5 times.
Kind of like Dolby. I bet like Beats will be like that for Dre. You know, like eventually it'll be an audio standard.
I mean, my goal is to work with and meet as many artists as I possibly can.
Raycons.
Like,
one of my favorite artists though.
Raycon, you just, dude. That's one thing I will tell you. I'm sorry, Tonk, to interrupt, but
I don't know who
that
Raycon
is going to be something I will make sure that the Finns tailgate will never do.
Raycons.
Goddamn Raycon commercials, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm not going to be a part of that. I will leave the network if we ever are doing Raycon commercials. Just putting that out there.
Tonk, just question for you because I'm new to Crooked Eye and whatnot. Because you got me interested now. I was listening to some of his music.
He's dope.
So he's from the Washington area at all? Can you tell me a little bit about?
No, he's from Long Beach, California.
Long Beach. The only reason I'm asking is because the song Fireflies freestyle, which I'm playing right now.
Yeah.
He talks about how, you know what, people say things about pop. Well, I'm going to go pop. We're going to pop this. And then he goes into his freestyle, right? It has this beat that I've heard from a pop group that is popular in the Seattle area. And it has the same beat in track. That's why I was wondering.
What's that song Fireflies? It's an instrumental.
Well, the beginning instrumental part is what I'm talking of the song, is what I'm talking about. And I've heard it on another group's song. So that's why I was wondering, like, is he from that area? Mm-hmm. Maybe that's famous for that area. So that's why I was asking.
No, he's definitely all Cali.
Yeah. Gotcha. One of my favorite rappers was Exhibit. That he got with Drake. I liked Exhibit for a long time. I love his first 2 albums.
He's still around. I think he's just like I think he gets on tours with people. Now. He was on tour with a couple people for a while.
He's definitely considered old.
Yeah, and I was really upset. Like the fallout of Slaughterhouse after they put out the album was shady, and then the mixtape they put out, everything kind of fell apart because Joe Budden and Eminem weren't getting along. And I was really upset by that because they were so dope. I mean, they were just like, it sucks like to see things because I think Eminem one of the best, that's why he signed them. But because Crooked Eye and Joel Ortiz, they still put albums out together. So did
Eminem ever recover them lyrics that were stolen from him on the plane? I never got the rest of the story.
I never even heard of that. I never even
heard of that, bro. Yeah, somebody stole his notebook with like a whole entire new album worth of freaking rhymes that he put together.
What the hell?
Yeah, this happened back earlier in his career, man.
Oh, okay. I lost the whole album worth of poems and all the poems that when I started writing poetry,
he was flying on or something.
I started writing poetry in 2008, and I just wrote just a shit ton of poetry, just constantly.
Y'all don't remember that? I'm not even into rap. I remember.
And I left a book, a notebook, and all the separate sheets of paper on an airplane, and I didn't realize I left it for 2 hours.
You got it back?
No.
Oh damn, man!
It's probably what prevented me from making a second album because I lost so much.
Well, Tonk, did you try to call the air?
Can't. I did. I called and I filed a report. And it's like I lost so much. It's like as an artist, I never recovered ever. Like there were some things that I wrote that like they were only coming out one time.
Right.
It was only one time. Like I could put it down.
You'll know him if anybody ever monetizes him. You'll know it. You'll hear it. You'll recognize your own stuff.
Let me hear it.
You guys,
you know what? They can have it. I don't even need it. Like I'm gonna have success anyways. So
right.
Yeah.
Make some of it. You're welcome.
Exactly.
You know what? I part of me kind of thinks that the Eminem losing his notebook story was fake.
You think so?
Well, that's how the one guy in Florida got found guilty for selling weed. He left his notebook like at a diner, and a cop found it.
Here we go. Hold on. I just looked it up right now. Eminem lost the notebook back in 2000. Yes, he wanted it back so bad. He set up. Hold on. Let me finish. So he wanted it so bad, and he set up a toll-free number, 1-800 and an email address.
The reason I'm saying it's fake. Hold on. The reason I'm saying
it back.
Hold on. I need to clarify my point on why I said it was fake. Mm-hmm. The story of ABC doing that, putting up the story and everything. I'm reading that. I know that's legit, but did he really lose the notebook or is it a celebrity stunt? And the reason I'm saying that, is because if you read the whole story, guess who was the cover of the notebook he lost?
Taylor Swift.
Britney Spears.
Oh,
No, I was
close.
Taylor Swift. This is the 2000s. She was like
She
7 years old.
Not even born yet, I think.
Same category, huh?
What does that have anything to do? Y'all ever heard of Jackie Evancho, bro? Little 7-year-old girl singing
Britney
"Oh Holy
Spears.
Night."
No, you know what's crazy was my uncle Gus. He went to like a Family Dollar or somewhere, and he bought some notebooks, but they were Ricky Martin notebooks. So he goes rolling up to the job site, and it's like a picture of Ricky Martin on the front of the note.
Wow.
Damn.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! He was like, "They're only 50 cents. What do you want?"
So that happened in 2000, right? So listen, guys. That happened in 2000, and Eminem had already had like a couple albums.
He's already sold millions of albums,
right? By that point, right? Exactly. And I'm thinking, but think about it. We're in 2023.
You know how much that would be
I
worth?
cannot believe it's been 23 years since freaking that notebook got lost, man.
I don't know why the person didn't
do
that. Honestly, how awesome would that be to give it back and like get autographs? And
23 years later, yep.
But now,
that thing
because I mean, what are you going to do with it? If you try to do anything with it, it's going to be. They probably threw it away. I don't know. It's like, what are you going to do with it?
Maybe somebody went to Staples and made a fake one and it pretended to be yours and sell it to them for $1 million.
What if the guy that's in possession of it?
Lyrics in it.
Hold on. What if the guy that's in possession of it hand by hand transcribes all of the words and sells that? Is he guilty of selling stolen merchandise?
Yeah. Stealing.
I guess he would be.
Stealing.
Well, it'd be intellectual property, but yeah.
Oh, so you're saying Harbaugh has Eminem's lyrics?
He's like,
that's funny.
That's funny. All right.
He's
probably got it. They both live in Michigan, Eminem from Michigan.
Crypto.
So there you go.
Good point. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Bro, no. Harbaugh doesn't have Eminem's lyrics. Harbaugh has Machine Gun Kelly's lyrics. Thinks he's all big and hard, but only he's a pop star.
Right.
You know what's crazy is they say like Machine Gun Kelly went rock after Eminem put out that diss, but Machine Gun Kelly already had rock songs out before all that happened. And he actually put out some really, really dope rock songs.
Personally, I think he's a better rock star than he is a rap artist, to be honest. He's
a better rock star?
I think so.
Well, a lot of artists turn out that way. Kid Rock.
Yeah, Kid Rock he's very talented, actually. I like
it'd be funny if Harbaugh if Harbaugh is the one that stole Eminem's notebook, and like we hear a locker room speech after a game one time, and it's some of his lyrics.
He's
just go through.
He's like, dear Stan. He's like, dear Stan, I'm sorry I ain't called you.
Right.
That's how he's recruiting.
That's how he's recruiting, right? I got Eminem.
It turned out to be a rap song.
He's like, I'm just cleaning out my closet.
Where did this come from? What did this?
He doesn't. Hey, but Harbaugh, even though he stole his lyrics, he doesn't have a guilty conscience.
No. What happens is, after 23 years, Eminem somehow gets the notebook back and turns past to what used to be empty pages, and there's nothing but signs from Ohio State drawn on it,
or a whole bunch of like perverted things that kids used to draw in like history books.
Oh my God.
I like the meme where it shows like page 29. Like, Guardian kids, go to page 29. It shows page 29. It's like a whole bunch of drawings.
Right. Harbaugh was Harbaugh.
You know what I used to do in my English class? I used to like when she would pass around the paper to put our name on there, I would write my name, but then like I would go down a couple spaces and I would write like Abraham Lincoln or George Washington, and I would purposely like spell it like really, really inaccurately.
Lincoln,
like I would put like Linkin.
Abraham Lincoln Park,
like George, like Jorge Washington.
George
Jorge
Washington.
No, it's Jorge.
Jorge Washington.
Yeah.
And I would put like I would always put like somebody like way down at the bottom, so like you didn't know who wrote it.
Hey, speaking of stealing signs, real quick, did you guys see that? I can't remember if it was ESPN or Fox. One of the two did a special on Michigan about how they brought this. I don't know what you would call him, a mentalist or whatever, that can already know what you're thinking, and it's like almost like a magician, but they call him a mentalist. Like
that's who they hired.
They hired no. They did this whole like.
So a guy like me, that cuts everybody off because I already know what you're gonna say.
Well, not necessarily quite like that, but he was basically having people think of numbers and thinking of things, and he was telling them what they were thinking, and it happened on the.
That's a pure empath, dude.
Yeah, well, it was.
So what do you?
He's got it worse than you and me, Ollie.
Because when they did the promo was the day it got announced they're under investigation. So I was like, "Are you?"
Oh wait. Yes, but it says that's how they knew because that guy was there. They just hired him to go stand on the sidelines.
No, it wasn't him specifically, but it was just funny how they got this guy to do a whole promo about he already knows what you're thinking and the fact you're getting investigated for knowing the signs. That's so funny.
Well, it's like, that's obviously how they were doing it.
Probably.
That guy is like legit. He actually does really know how to read people's minds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Probably.
Put him on an airplane and send him around the country. All right. So what we got next?
All right, and the last thing you sent me was
sustainability part 3. So the same place I buy my shampoo and my conditioner, I buy bar lotion. Comes in a cardboard box.
And this episode is brought to you by Bar Lotion.
And a cylinder aluminum container.
Solid notions.
Solid lotion.
Looks like a hockey puck.
So
that's interesting.
It's a bar like a bar of soap, except it's a little more smeary, so you can caress it. It's more
greasy.
Hands. Right.
It's more greasy.
So you can manipulate it in your hands like a bar of soap, but it just
so the best way to do it. The best way to do it is just stick it in your hand for a second to kind of warm it up.
Right.
Okay.
So my question
move it around.
Almost like a balm, almost like a greasier balm.
And
are there a variety of scents?
All right. So look at this. Mm-hmm. Okay. There is 1, 2, 3, 4.
They got any lemongrass and lavender?
About 7 ingredients. Okay, there's 7 ingredients in this. Go read a bottle of lotion in a plastic bottle that's 20. Liquid. There's like 200 freaking ingredients on there.
Yeah. There's at least 4 different color dyes.
Okay. So exactly. But I bought this because like everything I do, well, for the most part, I try to reduce how much plastic I consume. So these products may not be the best thing, but they're still there. Like, and
you eat plastic?
It's just really what?
You eat plastic?
No, I said reduce how much plastic. Oh, actually, yes, because it's in shit. You know that we consume about a credit card. No, dude, we consume like a credit card worth of plastic.
Right. You consumed it.
Yep. No, he's right. We consume like a
credit card worth of plastic. I don't know if it's
McDonald's
every year.
Salt, I
don't want to say every month. That'd be a lot,
in it.
but it's definitely yearly. But it's dope. Yeah, they have different scents. I buy the lavender one, but like. So what's good about this is I'm not saying go out and just buy this and get rid of everything. Just try it in addition with your other lotion and see if you can find a use for it. Because even if you just try to start using this along with your other stuff, you're still reducing your consumption of plastic because you are attempting to try something else. Like, I don't expect anybody to go run out and change all of their products, but it's available for you to try, and you might actually like it because look,
where do you buy that stuff?
Lotion, Whole Foods, where they sell the shampoo and conditioner. Because this much lotion in a bottle, you can't bring it on an airplane.
No, you can't do that.
So all this stuff I've been showing you all, you can all fly with. It's all flight safe. So there's a lot of benefits to trying this, and it's less ingredients. You even said there's no fucking coloring and none of this other bullshit. There's no preservatives. So seven ingredients versus 20. You tell me which one is going to be better for you. And everyone on here, organic. Sunflowers.
I'm just picturing Tonk on an airplane pulling out all this stuff and putting it on the tray in front of him.
I got 2 months worth of shit right here.
Right, but I'm picturing you pulling it all out on the plane, putting it on the tray in front of you, and like taking an entire bath right there on the plane.
I just want to know, are the products scented?
Well, I think because
coconut.
I'm not sure if it's a scent or if it's just the ingredients.
I just want to know because
lavender essential oil.
He puts all the stuff on the tray, and he looks up at the flight attendant. He's like, "Could I have a cup of water, please?"
Yeah.
No straw.
Napkin?
No straw.
I just want to know. I just want to know if they're scented because I was wondering if they have cucumber kiwis so I can buy a color a Christmas gift. That's why.
I mean, go into a Whole Foods and see for yourself.
I want the lemongrass.
I think they actually do. But the brand is called Moon. The brand is called Moon Valley, and they also make really, really good tea tree oil shampoo. That's in a solid bar. It's like this freaking big.
Tea tree oil.
Yeah, tea tree. That's some good stuff.
It's dope. It's a big ass bar of shampoo, and you barely need any of it to make your whole freaking head sudsy. Because there was a dude on here the other week complaining about the conditioner, but it's not made to be sudsy. But the shampoo
is he complains about being alive, bro.
Dude, literally, I just rub it like twice, and my whole head is like sudsy. So like one bar lasts a really, really long time. So
by the way, Tonk, that was Michael K. He complains about being alive, bro.
Well, like, I mean, but I embrace that because I need to be able to counter that with something that you can do or a reason why. Because, for me to support this stuff and push it out, I need to be able to answer every question and every disagreement. So I want people to try it and give me feedback. Because, like, for instance, the tablet toothpaste I buy, when I get the refills in the package, it's brand new toothpaste. But the first time I bought the container that had toothpaste in it, it was a little old. It's because it was packaged before. But every time I get the refill, it's always brand new and fresh. So, like, a friend of mine reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, I tried that toothpaste, but when I got it, it was older." And I was like, "Yes, that same thing happened to me, but only one time."
It's called ice.
Do they make solid water? It's called ice. Yeah. Oh, good. That's a good one, man. Do they make water like gas too?
Hey, listen, I have this invention, right? It's called instant water. Just add water.
Just add water.
Add water. Hey, Tonk. So, like, what's really cool, man, about sustainability and the mission that you're on is it like what you're doing for work? Like with the circles you're mingling in and all that are full of people that absolutely could take advantage of the convenience of this type of stuff. You know what I mean? I was thinking about the tablet toothpaste. You know what I mean? Like, dude, how convenient that would be for a millionaire that's on the go all the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
You have to be careful.
Those are real good.
Going everywhere. Right. So this is my show. I could show whatever I want on here, but when I'm interacting with people in person, I have to be careful. I don't want to seem pushy or judgy because if they say no, I don't want to think of judging because they have tube toothpaste. Like, I'm not judging you.
But if you're sparking up a chill conversation with somebody, you just mention this stuff exists.
How I would do is I would just bring this with me and use it in front of them.
Exactly, Tonk. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely. No, actually, dude, I push all three of my pathways all the time. Like when I'm at concerts talking to people, they know that I'm an environmental scientist and I'm a
They
know that I'm an environmental scientist, but I'm also the tour manager. And they'll also see me drink out of an aluminum can, probably liquid death. So look, I'm practicing what I preach, and I'm having a good time.
You're walking the walk. And the thing of it is, bro, is that like, you know, they obviously know you're a busy person and probably getting pulled in all directions. So when they smell your breath or smell how good you smell, they're gonna be like, how does that guy Tonk like fit in his like hygiene if he's such a busy guy? And they might just ask you one day, and they're like, what do you do, bro? You fucking
let
smell
me show
great,
you.
man.
Yeah. By the way, when they say you put on the lotion, do they ever say like, "Why are you smearing that urinal cake on top of yourself?"
The urinal cake. Oh my goodness!
He just looks up at him. He's like, "It's yellow cake. It's yellow cake.
Yeah, don't
it's
get the yellow one, or don't get the yellow or the brown one." But and then you could just recycle.
Tonk, you ever tried those liquid detergent sheets? Those detergent sheets that's solid.
Yes,
you just throw them in a washer.
But the best way to use them is to if you have, it depends on what kind of wash machine you have. So if you have like a washing machine that is like the side load and you could put the thing in the top, because sometimes they don't, like what I usually do is, I put it in the washing machine first and turn it on to get it mixed, and then I put my clothes in there. Because sometimes it doesn't dissolve all the way. So, and I'll actually show that next week. I'll actually show you. Jets and stuff. I've tried every type of laundry detergent.
I'm a pre-filler too, Tonk, even with regular detergent.
But I found this one detergent. It comes in an aluminum bottle, and it's hyper.
Got no issue with dissolving.
It's hyper concentrated. Like you need like this much of it per load. And it comes in a liquid form, but it's in an aluminum can. So it's still sustainable.
So it's like some quantum detergent.
It's like literally, and it comes with a silicone cap. I'll go grab
80 loads. So concentrated.
It comes with one particle of detergent that's in a million superpositions, so that and they all end up working on it.
I just bought it the other day. It's called Dirty Labs. So here's the silicone little measure, and it's aluminum. And I can just go to Whole Foods and buy another one. It's hyper concentrated. So this does 32 loads. I mean, it's still reducing my consumption of plastic. That's my only goal here. So if you want to choose the sheets one, fine. If you want to choose this, fine. Or even powder detergent, because powder detergent comes in a cardboard container. It has that little plastic cup,
right?
But the amount of plastic that you're not consuming, yes. So like you can look at it,
you can get some that don't use that little plastic top.
Yes, you know what I mean? Exactly. So
what about so Tide Pods is a no?
Yeah, no, I don't. No, I do not support those at all.
Kind of
because one, that material that it's used, like the actual in the Tide Pod, that stuff is toxic as hell. And then it comes in that thick ass plastic container.
You can kind of make your own out of solid different detergents and mix them together.
I know people that make their own detergent.
You can make them. Yeah. I'm one of them. I have made my own detergents.
Do you make
I'm super excited,
bro? You can make, I was gonna say you make bar soap. There's a lady that lives out in the middle of Arizona, the desert,
I do the liquid
that makes and sells goat soap. She makes soap out of goat's milk.
Yeah. I mean, it's there. You just, you might pass over these brands because they just don't look traditional. You know what I mean? Like, who's ever seen lotion that's this small? Like, it's like it's easy to pass by it and not actually like me. The only reason I know of these products is because I've actively looked for them and I've made it my mission to use them. So I'll deal with the change and maybe the
Hey, as long as they work,
The challenge,
why not make the change if the stuff is sufficient?
Yeah,
to do the job. You know
I mean,
what
if you can. Plus, I don't have kids. I don't have to worry about anybody else. So I can spend a little extra money on some of these things versus it might not.
Right.
That's why I try to show so many products. So
Me,
it gives
Tonk.
people variety.
Yeah, you tell them it puts the lotion.
Me, Tonk.
Puts the lotion in the basket.
I'm just about eliminating the fallacies of environmentalism. You know what I mean? I'm all for it, dude. I'm just all about eliminating the fallacies. If they're creating something that doesn't work, or in the case of
I told you,
right, or in the case of other, or in the case of the other subject that will remain not brought up tonight, where they're making stuff in a way that's even more harmful to the environment and passing it off as something that but this stuff works, dude.
No,
and it's like if this stuff works, and why not change? Why not make the change? You know what I mean?
Plus, this brand, this lotion, it supports pollinators like hummingbirds and bees.
Oh,
and
you're
it's
not going to get attacked by bees, are you?
So the practices used to make this stuff is a lot more sustainable.
Flying insects. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, Joe, you already know. You were here when we had that conversation. Don't even get me started on paper straws. It's the dumbest thing.
Yeah, I was just telling you because I don't want you to think I'm coming off as a contrarian, Tonk.
It's
you know
the
what I mean?
Dumbest thing I've ever seen. I'm like,
but when I read that article about that other subject, I was like, I can't believe this fallacy, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's why they hire people that's why people like me matter, because we actually have done we have the
exactly,
experience.
and you're not all stuffy and smug about it. You know what I mean?
No, because I'm not going to get anyone to listen to me if I'm being an asshole about it or if I'm being judgmental. And I even tell people that. Like when I tell them what I do, I'm like, look, I ain't being judgmental. Like, you're going to do what you're going to do. I ain't going to judge you for that. I'm just letting you know that these options are there. And if because when I have conversations with people about this, they'll bring up like, oh, our capitalistic, market, and then, the government and this. There's nothing I could do about any of that. I have not yet anyways. I have no influence on what the government does, what our capitalistic market does, but I can control what I buy.
And you can also work.
And that's how you make the impact.
Right. And that's working inside that system, because
and that's the same. Yes.
The more people that buy that stuff, the more those companies make money and are brought to the forefront. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's copycat lead. So if it's getting popular, more companies will.
And it's like that.
And you're not forcing it on people. But what's happening is the market is dictating what is on the shelves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, whatever works for you, Joe. I mean, whatever. Get a bidet. They like nowadays when you build a new house here, everyone puts in a little electrical outlet by the toilet, so that way you could at least put a bidet on your toilet. Right. So it gives them the opportunity to do it.
Right. The only reason capitalism goes bad is because we buy the crap they shove down our throats and put on the shelves.
It's just,
you know what I mean?
It's just we have too much.
It can be a good thing. We just have to use it that way.
I am not supporting these companies for greed. I am supporting these companies because of what the cause they serve and how important it is. I'm not getting anything out of this.
Companies don't run but companies don't run on water, so they've got to be able to compete with Tide and whoever the other soap makers are. You know what I mean? It's like, and if they can't, if nobody's buying their stuff,
Gamble.
Right, if nobody's buying their stuff, then they can't get their stuff on the shelf. But if everybody starts buying that, and Procter Gamble's product and Procter Gamble's products not getting bought, Procter Gamble will buy a little company like that and be like, okay, we're going to make our stuff like you now. You know what I mean?
So they'll just write a check for you for $4 billion, and that'll be it.
So I'm going to have next week. I'm going to have a segment of a product that I disagree with.
Okay.
Cool. Okay.
Because it's not serving the purpose even remotely at all, and it pisses me off that I'm seeing it so often. Because it's called greenwashing. There's green. Now, greenwashing is a term that basically, oh yeah, we're a green company, we do this, but you're not, and you're not at all. So
I'm so ready for that conversation, Tonk. I will be there, bro.
Hey, so I just heard this. I can picture you now.
Okay.
I don't use the lotion in the plastic.
All right.
I'm gonna put that on my Tinder profile.
Don't use the lotion in the
Tonk,
plastic.
Put the lotion in the fucking basket.
Joe,
you're talking
Joe,
about greenwashing.
Joe says, I stopped wiping my ass to save
Yeah, I know.
paper.
So, Tonk, since you're talking about,
And if I've met Joe in person, if you've ever met him in person and imagine his face saying that is absolutely hilarious.
Is that the same Joe Rist in freaking St. Pete Beach? Because that's not in West Palm.
I don't know. I met him at the game.
Ricky Keys.
You met him, Shake?
Tonk, since you're talking about,
I met him at the tailgate.
Joe Rist.
All right, what's up, Ollie?
Yeah, because you'd never expect a joke to come out of that guy like that. That's what makes it really funny.
Since you guys are talking about greenwashing and companies that say they're green they're not really green,
they're totally.
Are you a supporter of electronic vehicles?
Yes and no.
All the EVs.
Okay, hold on. I want to hear. I want to hear from Tonk only. I want to hear from Tonk only. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I think we missed out on a very important decision, and we should have went hydrogen instead of EV.
Yeah.
Because of how hydrogen is made and the efficiency of it, and then the byproduct of it.
Okay.
Electric is not a bad option because the more that we electrify the grid with alternative energy to where we can power these vehicles basically for free once the alternative energy has started, that's a sustainable practice. Now, yes, you have to dig and mine and the batteries and this and that, but
my point.
So that's why
I want to chime in when you guys are done.
Hold on. So that's why I'm up and down about it. But I've always I think that we're missing, because if you hone over Northern Europe, Germany, Sweden, Finland, and you just put hydrogen gas or hydrogen gas station over Google Maps, you'll see all these locations pop up, right?
Yeah, Iceland is
in Germany.
Powered by hydrogen.
In Germany,
it's totally built
you pull up
infrastructure.
They have solar panels and an electrolysis machine that takes distilled water and it separates the molecules, and they pump the hydrogen into your car, and then that's the H2, and then the O gets released into the environment for us to breathe. And then when you burn the gas, you're adding oxygen back to it, so you're getting a byproduct of water. You can't drink that water, but it's still water. So it's like, it's basically a complete system, and it's using water, which is the most abundant resource on the planet. But no, we're going to do this other shit because the government is funding it. We're going to put batteries in everything, and they only have an 8-year warranty. But it's like, at this point, it's so advanced into our economy that as long as we're going solar panels and wind turbines, it supports electric vehicles. So
the problem is, and I'm sorry, I just want to get my point of why I asked this question across. The reason I'm asking is because, first of all, there are companies like Chevrolet that has announced that they're no longer going to be making gas vehicles. Everything they have coming out next year and going forward is all electric, right? And people are jumping on this electric binge and trying to get the cheapest electric cars they can get. But what they don't realize is that to power these vehicles, to charge them, is not green. It is there's areas that by charging it and how many people are using electricity is actually having a reverse effect on the environment. And in addition,
where did you read that?
Oh, it's not a matter of reading. Go look at our infrastructure, bro. If you still look, a majority of this nation is not powered by windmills or solar power, bro. I'm sorry, it's by nuclear power or by coal or other.
If you'd allow me to chime in a second, I'm also with Tonk. I'm a yes and no guy. I'm still on the no side, but I've heard some things recently that are kind of changing, making me change, and also. On that note, with the nuclear power has gotten so efficient and safe that even a lot of the even a lot of the most staunch environmentalists are starting to come around on it. So that is a solution that is viable going forward. But the one thing I have heard recently, and God, that's amazing that Chevy's announcing something like that. But that just tells me that they're confident in the battery technology getting better and more efficient over time, which is my biggest concern because, as Ali points out, besides the infrastructure having to be sustainable, which a lot of older places on the east side of the country are still, coal powered and stuff like that. But the also that
anybody hear me?
The waste involved, which is what Tonk alluded to, when you're talking about 8-year warranty, this stuff, there's lithium involved, there's chemicals involved in these batteries, but the thing that are not necessarily easily disposed of. But at the same time, that is really more the first and second generation stuff. And I was hearing today in a conversation with Capitan that they got cars now that are doing 700 miles on one charge. And the battery systems are actually like lightweight, and it's like a series of batteries in one main battery. And it's like, it looks like they're moving towards finding a way to make it a lot less materials involved in storing the energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely
so that's encouraging. That's encouraging, is all I'm saying.
Yeah,
now, they can get, but the thing of it is, Ali.
Don't get me wrong.
One more thing, real quick. If they're able to devise a system where the battery technology is getting so efficient that now you can also install some kind of aesthetically pleasing solar system, like solar windows, let's say, where you're charging that battery. Now you're taking that car off the grid completely.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Even if it's only a supplement to charge the battery, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in Florida, when your car is in the sun all day long.
Yeah.
Exactly. And now, again, but that's going to require the battery technology to become more efficient to the level where you can store more energy, where you can store more energy with less material.
Right.
With less
lighter material.
It is advancing. I just think that our infrastructure is not built for the advancement.
Okay, so all right, so listen to this though.
Go ahead.
My friend charges her Tesla car for $3.
Okay.
So how can $3 of electricity destroy, like how so when you now it does use a lot of electricity at once, but how much of it actually uses is not that much.
But you see, you're looking at it as an individual person. I'm looking at the macro, not the individual. Do you understand?
I understand.
When you look at everybody that has electric cars right now, we're talking about as a collective and how much power it requires to charge those vehicles on a regular basis. I don't know if you've been to Wawa's here in Florida when you were visiting, but all the Wawa's along the interstate, around 95 and the Turnpike, they have a deal with Tesla to have a slew of Tesla charging stations. Every single one of these Wawas has like 20 Teslas behind it charging all the time, right? That to make that power, to continuously make that power to charge them, it does create some pollution. Now, you may not see it because you don't have it in front of you and you're just looking at one person, but in the macro of things. Now, am I saying that electric cars is not the solution? No, I think it is. I just don't think our infrastructure is built for it to be the solution at this time. I think that we're kind of being forced into it too quickly is what I'm trying to say. That's just my opinion.
So, okay. But it's the same thing as having your stove on, or your water heater, your tankless electric water heater. So this usage is already happening to the grid. And for as long as that you do need to charge it for $3, that's not a lot of electricity. So yes, you are right that there is going to be an influence because you have this addition, but I haven't heard myself of a situation happening where, yes, it's because of electric cars. I've just heard people say, well, what about this and what about that? I've yet to actually see it. And yes, our grid system does need to be updated. It does. It just does. But these cars are so smart. That's what's good about these electric cars is that they're super smart and you can control them from virtually anywhere. So they're more talking to the grid than just plugging in something and charging it. So as they have the statistics of these charges and the influence it has on the system, they're going to be able to address that. And I mean, there's a lot of things in motion right now, but part of Biden's that agreement he signed, the new Green Deal or something like that. I mean, I even remember right when Obama became president, and I'm not just trying to name liberal presidents, I'm just stating facts here, okay? Because I might even still have the magazine. It talked about specifically about the grid and how it needs to be updated. This was in 2009 when we had no electric cars, basically. So they were already talking about that a while ago. So it's been happening ever since. It's like I said, the more that we have alternative energy into our grid system, it's going to help that. I mean, nowadays you got people with solar panels on their roof, and then they got Tesla walls in their garage. And so it's as we incorporate more electric vehicles on the grid, we are getting more alternative energy. Every time I go to Florida, I see a new solar farm. So as FP&L invests all that money into solar panels, they're upping the grid too.
Yeah, I understand. They're also expanding those solar farms into Georgia, by the way. I don't know if you know that. There's miles and miles of solar farms in Georgia. Look, listen, my point is that right now, electric cars are only truly green if you're charging them with green sources of energy. If you're not charging them with a green source of energy, it really defeats the whole purpose.
That's what I was meaning. That's the one fallacy that I see.
If you think, if you imagine this. So Chevy says they're moving all electric. I think Ford said most of their cars are going to be electric, except for one or two of them. Right? I don't know what Dodge is doing because who knows what they're doing. But
they're just going to make another Ram and make it fucking 19 miles a gallon.
I personally think the electric car craze is moved too quickly for the and the infrastructure hasn't caught up with it. And if you get so many people on board with this, that it could overload our infrastructure before it's even, sustainable. We're talking about sustainability right now. That's what I'm trying to get at. And I just think that maybe these car companies should have went more hybrid at first.
Yes, absolutely.
Just going all electric.
I mean, the Toyota Prius, how it charges when you hit the brakes and stuff like that. That's genius. I mean, that's almost common sense, really. And that's the thing about Japan is that when I learned a lot, when I was in school studying sustainability, I learned a lot about Japan because that's just their nature. And the same with like Northern Europe. It's just what they do. So they have very efficient systems is because they cared to do it. That's and they haven't been influenced by things that we've been influenced by. So there's going to be it's like kind of like puberty. Sustainability right now is going through puberty. It's having all these different things going on and they're affecting us different ways, but they're trying to push us into one direction. And if you have a car, I haven't measured myself the difference between the efficiency of the battery compared to the efficiency of a car. How much, my car gets 32 miles a gallon compared to an electric car. So we haven't compared that either in this conversation, which is so are you more concerned about some power lines or are you more concerned with what we're breathing out of a tailpipe? Because we have a lot of nuclear power in this country. We have alternative energy, but we also do use gas and oil too.
I guess for me
and coal.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's primarily the fact that if you are going to overload our current infrastructure, how it is right this moment, without any expansions and actually overhauling, right? If you're going to overload the system with electric cars right now, those power sources, let it be coal or nuclear or whatever else people use around here that is not considered green, anything that's not considered green, okay? Those sources are going to work that much harder and put out that much more pollution that it defeats the whole purpose. Do you understand? That's my concern with this. In addition, no offense, but I almost think that it's highway robbery what they're charging for electric vehicles these days.
Yeah, they are expensive.
There's not one. You know, we were supposed to get a Tesla that was supposed to be about $30,000. That never happened. I would have bought one by now if it happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Washington State by 2030 is you're not going to allow like new cars will not be like gas.
Yeah, and also Wink
California's that way going trying to do that too.
He makes a good point. Cars were electric first.
What was that, Shake Money?
Let me ask you a trivia question. Does anybody here know when the first electric car was made?
A long time ago.
Probably almost 100 years ago.
1891.
Exactly.
Probably over 100 years ago, yeah.
1890 to 1891 by William Morris.
Damn, that was a total guess, Ollie.
Iowa. The vehicle was a 6-passenger wagon. You guys want to know something funny about that? In in Stuart, Florida, off of Hutchinson Island, there's a museum. This guy has a collection of cars. He actually has one of these on display there that you can see. It's pretty dope.
One of the original models.
Full disclaimer,
that
was
the Model V.
You figure when the electric motor was ever created, it had to be somewhere around that time, right?
There's been electric cars.
Well, that's the thing about electric cars is that they're like, all right, so look at these droids that we have. Now they have these piloted droids, right, where you could get inside the thing and it has all the propellers and it's 100% electric. Look how easy it is to drive it. And honestly, I think that the best way for us to get to a system where you don't have to drive anymore is going to be more electric based, more computer based. And then with flying cars, or like cars to hover, like it's probably going to require it's probably going to require no, but you can buy these vehicles now. You don't have to be a pilot.
Yeah, you can buy a vehicle. There's a company that actually manufactures flying cars, believe it or not.
Before.
And it's like we wouldn't have that if it wasn't for
electric car. I'll buy an electric car when the military starts buying electric fighter jets.
What will be very interesting is how far they take the what do they call that where it drives itself? Autonomous,
yeah.
Dude, it's gonna be they're never gonna as AI as
they have them at airports already.
But now there's another problem because what if I think it was Fox News and they brought up a very good point. What if and what's his name said it? The governor of Florida. He said, well, what if the government says one day, well, on Sundays we don't want you to consume petroleum products. Or hold on. I was referring to electric vehicles. What if they say that, we don't want this to happen, so we're shutting your car down every Sunday? Because electric vehicles are constantly connected.
Exactly.
And you can't go like Teslas, you can control them from your phone. Like you could turn the air conditioning on, you can turn the car on. So like the government could do the same thing. So that might be the reason that we are going to electric vehicles is because the government can control the hell out of that in the next 100 years. COVID happens. You can't go anywhere. Your car ain't going to start. What are they going to do? What are you going to do?
That's true.
Another thing, too, is...
You can't do anything. Your car won't start. The bus is connected to the grid.
Yeah. Also, Tonk, too, that's why they're trying to get away with money because they can control what you buy.
Yeah.
That's why I focus. This is why in my life I've become so good at focusing on just what I have control over because that's where I have the most influence.
I'm gonna sound like a communist here. I'm gonna sound like
Hold on, Ali. I'm sorry. I wanted to say, Shake, you're 100% spot on, and it's already happening. In the cases of states that have licensed or legalized marijuana. Um, if I go to my dispensary and recently, and it's like on and off because the banks are playing the political game. So now the debit system that they use at my dispensary no longer accepts my Chase debit card.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I have to use cash there. I have to pull it out of the ATM, get charged the $3 fee for pulling money out the ATM, and pay with cash. Because it's not legal at the federal level. It's not legal at the federal level, and the feds know because everything's tracked on by Visa that that purchase was or that card was used, that the bank approved a purchase of an illegal a controlled substance. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
but
So,
you couldn't buy weed 20 years ago with a credit card when you had to buy it from homie down the street.
right.
So it's
right. I'm just pointing out that there's a case where the government is literally by proxy controlling what somebody can buy with their credit.
I mean, I have to buy
card.
weed with. I can't buy it with a card here. It's recreational here.
Right, because it's right because the banks do not want to be held liable by the feds.
Yeah.
No, they're simply the money. The printing is by the United States government.
I mean, but I don't know how much that has to do with
regulate
our conversation,
all commerce. Yeah.
Besides the control of electric vehicles, but
right.
And I mean, like those drones that we send around and those manless, pilotless drones, those are electric vehicles.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying though, if they could control you, if everything is plastic now, they're like, well, you have too much of this. You know what I'm saying? They could try to look into your finances and say you can't spend this and you can't spend that.
COVID was a real like representation of how bad things could possibly get. And like with state requirements, because I kind of feel bamboozled. Like I honestly, because my skin, like ever since I got COVID vaccine, my eczema has been so much worse.
Try not to say the C word too much, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I would imagine I don't want to stuff 250 grand under my mattress. I don't think that's quite the safe place to keep.
Yeah.
So the banks do have some interest.
I mean, it's
it's
money. Like that's why it's just important to educate yourself on something. Give an effort, have conversations, ask questions. And just be open to anything, because
it's called informed consent, Tonk, which is what was overridden by the government during the pandemic was informed consent. It was
so bad here. You couldn't go to concerts.
We had no ability to inform ourselves because the information has not been found out yet. It hasn't, you know what I mean? Because with the emergency use.
I know a chick in Oregon. She works in healthcare. She has to get a COVID shot every year. Another one every year. I'm like, damn, man.
Well, there are those out there.
I mean, that's honestly the reason why I was so willing to get the vaccine. Yeah, she works in healthcare.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the reasons I was so willing, was because like what doctors and healthcare had to deal with in this state, like it was this year. It was this year that they lifted the mask mandate.
Wow.
Since it was 3 full years of having to wear a mask in a hospital every day. I was like, I don't know. I just felt for people and I wanted to be part of like the fix. So like, that's a big reason why I did it, was because I just felt, I mean, that would suck to have to wear a mask every, like when I had to do it,
pretty easy for them to orchestrate something like that.
Because then I was like, well, I'm not going to keep using all these freaking paper masks. I went and bought a whole bunch of reusable, washable masks that I don't use anymore. However, I do wear them when I'm on airplanes now because I caught COVID going to Las Vegas in June, and I don't care. That's what I do like about COVID, was it removed the stigma of wearing a mask in public. Because now when you see someone wearing a mask in public, it's not that big of a deal. But if you did it 10 years ago, people did not like it. If you wore a mask in
you're a
public,
hijacker.
person.
Yeah,
you
no,
some
it,
kind
it
of
did not. Yeah, it did
whatever.
not look
Yeah,
good.
well,
It
there
did
was a
not look
reason.
good.
There's
Yeah,
a
the
reason
stigma of
people
person
stopped
carrying
wearing
the disease.
bandanas over their face, like
I mean,
Well,
to
like
be
in
100%
China,
Yeah,
when
in
we
you're right.
China,
graduated
It's gonna
it's
when we
rub
their
your face.
graduated
culture.
from the Victorian age.
But in China, it's their culture to wear a mask
Yeah.
when they're sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been doing it for
So,
years,
right.
way
So,
before
like,
COVID. Yeah,
that's still a good practice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's why
in
when
China.
I
Well,
am sick,
The Japanese do it by default. They do it just as a
it's not
matter
a
of
big deal.
course.
Like now, I'm like,
Yeah,
dude, I'm
that's
glad it
that
removed the
culture.
stigma
But Tonk,
because
remember me and fallacies, right? Well, the fallacy here is watching some Japanese tourists at Zion National Park take off their masks to drink out of the Virgin River, which is cattle country.
yeah,
Ugh.
right. It's like you saw the guy, like he had
Japanese
on
probably wasn't
plastic
as informed.
gloves. He had on like plastic gloves, and he's still touching everything and eating food with the gloves on. It's like,
With the
dude,
gloves
there's
on?
no there's no
Jesus.
difference in what you're doing. Like, it's like, yeah, I feel you.
It's like eating with your work gloves on. And
Yeah. It's so. I
work
mean,
boots up on the
it's
table.
and plus, and then being in my field, like I get the blunt end of a lot of things. People call me liberal. People call me this. I'm not any of that. I'm myself. I just have a belief that I follow and I understand and I have measurement of and knowledge of. It has nothing to do with who I want to be president.
Exactly.
Like, I don't care who you vote for. Go buy this stuff. Like, it doesn't matter. It's not liberal or Democrat. It's preventing our ocean from having the world's largest ocean patch. There's an island in the ocean that grows trees on it, and it's made of plastic. It's completely 100% plastic, and there's trees growing on it.
On this island?
And there's so much plastic in our ocean. It's so much plastic in our ocean, and that is everybody. That is everybody's fault. That is, well, it's what we've been given, right? We didn't have a choice growing up. We didn't really have a choice, but
So
now
that big pile sitting out in the Pacific Ocean, Tonk, right? What if they were to just like throw caution to the wind and be like, since we're already getting back to pre-industrial age level atmospheric conditions because of the measures that we've already implemented in modern times. Wouldn't it be like, and given that a volcano could erupt at any time, right?
Yeah, and like, yeah.
Why don't we just say, hey, you know what? We screwed up. We're doing things now that will not cause this pile in the future. Why don't we just burn the damn thing? Get it over with. One time, one last bonfire. Yeah, it's gonna hurt the freaking atmosphere for a minute, but you know what I mean, bro? Like,
probably because how long? I mean, they do that. There's a waste to energy facility here in Washington.
Right. But I mean, the one that's sitting out there in the ocean.
You would have to go get it. You have to go get it. Like, it's in the middle of the ocean.
Oh, I mean, just go out there and light it on fire.
Just dump it in there.
Fire in the ocean.
Just dump it in. Yeah, just throw it in a volcano.
You could dump it into the volcano.
Yeah, just dump it.
Damn, now that ain't a bad idea. Float it over the Hawaii and just let it fall into Kilauea or something.
Now they're actually they're growing worms now that eat plastic.
Eat it? Oh, that's cool. They've had bacteria that eats oil for a long time, dude. That's what they use to clean up the oil spills, bro. It turns it into some kind of foam that they can scrape off the surface.
And they use hair too.
Yeah,
because hair is really good because it absorbs and then it falls to the bottom. Like oil is supposed to. Like, it's supposed to just go to the bottom and be absorbed into the ground.
You know, we could always go out there to the Pacific, you know, slip a big net underneath the whole thing, you know, strap it to a rocket ship and just shoot it into the sun or something.
Tonk, I think we got some breaking news that I think is TMI worthy.
What is it?
So, and I'm just reading about this because Kay Adams retweeted this, I guess.
She's cute.
Yeah, she did repost it today. Actually, yesterday. I didn't know about this. It's not really breaking, but I guess people are talking a lot about it.
With K.
Staines, the golfer, I can't think of his name.
Tiger Woods
fumbled the Netflix trophy that he just won out of from the PGA Tour and shattered
Netflix
it.
trophy. Damn.
Hmm.
They call
There's
it the
videos
Netflix
going
trophy
viral
now?
about it right now.
Well, that's what Netflix gets for fucking having a golf. Why does everybody want to get?
Why they call it
broken
the
to
Netflix
pieces.
trophy?
Nobody thinks Netflix is this. You know, we should have a golf thing program for. I don't know.
Yeah, what the hell?
Oh
Yeah,
man!
why they call
Like,
it the
who
Netflix trophy?
associated?
Jesus.
It's I don't know.
No shade at Netflix. I love
It's
it. Their
like even
programming
Tom
is
Brady could throw a
top notch.
fucking trophy and not lose it. Come on, people.
I think it might have been Greg Norman's house over in Palm Beach. I think has a bowling
Speaking
alley
of
in it.
Greg Norman. John
Have you seen the
Daly and all
video?
those
Trying to
guys.
get into sports, so they have this like.
It's part of sports to ruin
Who's,
destroy the trophy. It happens every year, regardless of the sport. Someone's going to drop the
Gronkowski did
trophy
that,
or
him and
run
Brady.
it. Yeah, they threw it to each other.
You know what's really gross, bro?
Yeah,
That
You
was
ever
the
watch-
dopest thing ever, man. I mean,
Hey.
you can't get more goat than that. Than
You know what-
it being
you know
in a boat and throwing the trophy to your other teammate across, like from one boat to the other, and
it
him
almost
catching
fell
it.
into the freaking
Yeah,
bay.
you know
Oh
what's
my
really, you know
gosh,
what's really
dude.
gross though? You know what's really
Mhm.
gross is at the end of the Super Bowl when they hoist the trophy, and
Yeah.
like by the time it gets past to like 3 or 4 guys, you see a whole bunch of fingerprints smeared all over the thing, and somebody just puts their lips on it and kisses it. It's like, oh,
I don't
dude,
know.
come on, man.
no, actually
that's
they
like- that'd be
pass they pass
that'd be
around
like-
to kiss it though.
Yeah, but that'd
Yeah,
be like
exactly.
licking.
Yeah,
that'd be
they
like
do that.
that'd
They
be like
will.
licking money, bro. You know
No,
what I mean?
it
Like,
isn't. No, it isn't.
Yeah, they do.
No, it
Yeah, you
isn't.
do. You
If
shake
you
money, they
want
do
to,
be
if you
kissing
had the
it. I'm like,
Lombardi,
God.
you would. I would. I wouldn't have a
How many
problem
hands
kissing
done
I
it.
touched
would
it?
too. I would too. I'm just pointing out the fallacy.
But
It's like
yeah.
licking money.
It's
Bro,
not.
there
No,
was
it's
this.
not like
There was
If
this
somebody
video.
gave me a stack, if somebody gave me a stack of $100,000, I'd probably kiss that too.
Bro, I'm telling you right now,
Yeah.
I
What's-
agree
what's
with
the- what-
color with the stuff that they do with trophies is disgusting. I was watching this video. A
Yeah, it
soccer
is.
team
That's
won
very
the.
I wouldn't
won the
drink
big-
out of something.
No,
but
check this out. Check this out. You won't after what I tell you. You won't after what I tell you. I was watching this soccer event and the team won the big tournament or whatever, and they're hoisting the trophy up, and there's this guy hoisting the trophy up, and this bird comes out of nowhere and shits in the cup and flies by, right? Later, they show the guy pouring champagne in the cup and drinking out of the cup.
Mm.
Well, have
Well,
you seen the UFC
well,
fighter who drinks champagne out of people's shoes?
Yeah, Shuey.
Oh,
Yeah, we got to.
And-
That's what Colin used to do out here, right? Live on the tailgate, man. He'd drink.
Hey, by the way,
beer out
let
of his
me ask you
shoe.
a question.
Yeah,
So let's
I
say
remember
you're in a
him
room
doing
with
that.
a room with 5
Shuey.
people passing a joint. Isn't that the same thing? They're putting their fingerprints.
I don't. I try
Yes.
not. I don't do that stuff anymore.
Yeah, I
Man,
noticed that
Shake, you
people
just-
try
you
I
know
don't.
what,
I don't
Shake?
like if there's a
Shake,
whole bunch of
mind
people
blown,
smoking on it. I'm
Shake.
like, no,
Yeah,
not anymore.
They do
Not
that.
anymore.
Mind
Now they put a
blown,
little
Shake.
toothpick. They put toothpicks inside of it now to kind of. I don't know what they do now.
Yeah,
I guess
I'm
seen
good.
people using
I
toothpicks.
just bring a whole bunch of pre-rolls and give them out to people. So
No
you don't have to
wonder.
worry
No
about-
wonder.
I can't comment.
You know
My
what?
company
No
is
wonder I'm so
tobacco-free.
dang immune to
All
everything,
other
bro.
types of substance free.
That must be
comment.
why I never get the flu, man. I don't think I've had the flu like twice in my whole life, man. Like a real bona fide.
You want to
flu.
learn how to not get sick? Check your diet. Because ever since I went gluten-free, I don't get sick anymore.
And even through
Mhm,
COVID,
that
I got it
works.
once.
That helps.
Even through the
I
pandemic,
don't.
I got it once after I got vaccinated. But it was like
Celiac disease.
a
is
couple
supposed to
hours
develop
of bad
that,
of
yeah.
feeling bad. You know, it was like
Because and I'm not in, and it's probably because of vaccinations why I'm gluten intolerant. But how much gluten I used to take in compared to
You
how
got a
much
lot.
gluten I take
No
in
problem.
now.
Have you had to make it not about the C word?
I
Have you
never
had
had-
other? Have you had other vaccinations besides
Well,
that
yeah,
one?
hepatitis,
Right.
measles,
You probably
mumps,
had all your
rubella.
childhood
Right,
shots,
right.
all
So
your
you might
infant
have
shots
you just
before,
right.
so,
You
yeah.
might have
But that
developed
doesn't
that
mean
through
I
any
didn't
one of
get
the.
right.
You might have developed that through any one of those vaccinations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
not an anti-vaxxer. I'm just saying
Me neither. I was
this
just
is something that
I'm
happened.
not an
okay?
anti-dentite either.
Yeah.
I'm pro whatever you
It's just
float your
cumulative.
fucking boat.
But what was I saying?
For myself,
Cumulative
for myself,
vaccinations over the years
look.
helps.
For myself, I chose to get the traditional.
But no,
version
ever
of it,
since
you know what I
and
mean.
and I didn't even realize it. You know how much gluten I was actually taking in, and ever since I cut it out, I'm I'm so much healthier. It's crazy. Like I used to get sick all the time, and I would be sick for a long time. Now, when I get sick, I get over it really fast, and it's
no
rare.
pasta for you.
Yeah, I tried.
No, you can get gluten-free pasta. It's actually better than regular pasta, I think. It's good.
I like the free gluten.
Gluten-free pasta is really good.
I like
it's
the
really
free gluten.
good.
I like the free gluten diet where I get my gluten free.
What, bread and pasta? And,
no, he gets it for free.
Yeah.
Okay, but you don't just consume gluten. You consume something that has gluten in it.
I'm on that HFC diet.
No, but I'm totally better. Like, and now I can have a little bit of it. I just don't, I was having like, bagels or waffles for breakfast, a sandwich at lunch, and then pasta for dinner. But actually, I've actually gained weight because I wasn't really digesting things properly when I had a lot of gluten.
That's a good.
I'm on that HFC diet. I consume a lot of corn.
Well, that's because it's fucking our capitalism market is.
This is pretty good too.
HFC.
All that high fructose corn syrup, huh?
Yeah.
Good to go. I like
a lot of our products got some version of corn in it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
All the stuff we consume has got some byproduct of corn in it. It's amazing.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it's
amazing.
It's sugar isn't. I mean, sugar
incorporated into.
I try my
everything.
hardest. I try my hardest to cut out sugar. It's challenging to cut out sugar.
Just about every Kellogg cereal. Just about every Kellogg cereal has corn in it.
And I had to cut down on carbs because now that I don't consume as much gluten, I absorb so much more food, and so I had to really cut down on carbs because I started gaining weight. I was like, "Yo,
yeah, bro,
I don't even fit in my clothes anymore."
And carbs will lead you down the diabetes
So now trying to be low carb and gluten free.
Yeah, it's just a slow path.
It's like, dude, I just eat like ground turkey. I just eat ground turkey and vegetables. Is like that's it. It's easy. It's gluten free. It's super low carb.
Without being a nutritionist, I think the carbs allow you to take in more sugar, and that's why carbs can also lead down the pathway to diabetes.
Well, they also so if you want to take in fiber, it comes with a carb.
Yeah.
But yes, like people need to really reduce how much sugar they consume. It's like even when I buy like 100%,
5 grams.
You gotta have it. But like, were you about to talk about the real sugar stuff? Like, if I buy a Pepsi now, I get the real sugar Pepsi now.
Yeah. Well, see, when I buy fruit juice that's no sugar added, it's 100% fruit juice. There's still a lot of sugar in there. I dilute the hell out of it first.
Though. Yeah.
Right, but it's still a lot of sugar. And so I dilute all of my fruit juice. I've been doing it for years.
There's something about
that's because they extract the fiber out. That's what
there's something about drinking Pepsi that's made out of real sugar that seems, I don't know. Sugar's
sweet.
Not. Look, humans need sugar, but obviously sugar can be also unhealthy. At the same time, I suspect that natural sugar over, these, chemicals that they use instead.
Sugar,
I would imagine it's still better, even though sugar overall is probably, in large quantities.
It's a healthier option, but if you're drinking 5 sodas a day, you're not any healthier.
Well, true, but at the same, I don't really do that anymore, and that's why I'm saying I lean towards buying a real sugar Pepsi when I buy a Pepsi now, because it's like
versus it's different from eating 5 apples. Is kind of meant for humans to consume. With the added fiber and pectin to offset the sugars that's in the fruit.
Well, those are simple sugars though, and they get broken down a lot easier.
Yeah, and plus the fiber is added with it and helps offset the carb.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you add fiber with something, it helps process it better.
That's what is good about this country. We have so many options. Yeah. But it's getting late, guys.
I got a show at 6 a.m. So
all right. So you want me to wrap her up?
Yes, please.
Well, you got Ali when you got a show when the cock crows. Is that when you got
6 a.m. I'm going live. I got a lot of stuff to get off my chest.
I'm sorry, Ali. I forgot to create that for you, dude. I'm sorry.
I already took care of it.
Cool.
All right, guys. So go ahead, send us off, Tonk. I got my finger on the trigger.
Thank you, everybody. Make sure to share, like, comment. Thank you for being here. 2 hours and 45 minutes. It was a pleasure. Thank you for everyone in the comments. Have a great week.
Great discussion.